I can't get this straight face. How do you do it for so long?
1-0.
Can I?
Hi everybody, we are welcome here to do a watch party of the Garrison LAN event. Thank you very much for being here. The support is greatly appreciated. We are now going to watch Myriad versus Cat. Valdemar versus Baltoon already happened. Valdemar lost 3-1. And now we're gonna watch Myriad versus Cat. No, it was Valdemar versus Baltoon. There we go. Alrighty, guys, let's go. Let's go. Oh, I paused the stream. I didn't want to. Women and Beast will be casting the game. Myriad versus Cat. Myriad with Horde of the Dragon, Ayubids, Mongols, Delhi, French, and Chinese. Cat with HRE, Maldins, Japanese, JD, English, and Byzantines. Myriad banned Horde of the Dragon, French, Zushi and Rus. Well, Zushi and Rus almost always banned. Kind of crazy. And Myriad and Cat banned also Zushi and Rus, HRE, and Byzantines. I think Cat is a better draft in my opinion.
For you. Now, this actually happened in your game as this demo as well, where I saw HRE on the other side, and I was like, damn, demo picking away that HRE from Beastie, and then it swapped around. I was like, there we go, boys. I have a question, though. We're seeing Byzantines on the far side there. This means it wasn't a prio pick.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he vetoed it, so he didn't need to pick it until the end.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
This is why we have a professional player here to correct me and my silly
It's okay.
statements.
It happens. Sometimes we all get confused. So one player thought, you know what, Byzantine is a pretty good thing to veto. The other guy's like, actually, I don't think it's a big deal. You can play that.
But
so
French is getting a little bit of love. Do you feel like the French love we've been seeing is because of you?
I don't know, but I noticed yesterday, I realized that everyone's been banning French and JD against me. But then I look at the other drafts and we see French banned from time to time. But
against Beastie, it's a lot.
People definitely are kind of realizing that the night civs turn out to be pretty good. And a lot of players are kind of like, yeah, actually JD and French, they have a lot of good timings. I'm like, yep, they do. That's why I play them. So.
I remember you telling Marine Lord that as well in a game that went 5-2, I believe, right? 5-2?
There's a song about it.
Oh,
For more information, check out the song.
So, Bistikite, do you think that you have a chance at taking down both these players?
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have his permission for that?
I did not get his permission for that, but Marine Lord, we love you.
So yeah, what do you think about this one? Byzantine versus Delhi.
As a player who's absolutely
You're Byzantine
awful.
main. I heard you beat a professional StarCraft 2 player with it.
I did actually.
Okay, go ahead.
So with Byzantines, I feel like the big strength of theirs is Mangonel Towers, and if you get to that point, most players look at it and they're like, what do I do now? But I feel like at this level, we do not have these conversations. They see that thing and they're just like, okay, I can just go for a different angle, actually, and I do not need to die.
Yeah, I actually don't gotta attack into it.
Yes, exactly. It's like the keep, being the gold player magnet. It's
like Berkshire in Gold League.
Exactly. You put the Berkshire there in the middle of the map on top of a hill. It looks really cool.
And the opponent's brain just fries up and he's like, I guess I'll just lose everything into it.
I gotta bring that guy down. And luckily, Louis did find a way around the Berkshire yesterday. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the game, I want to just point out here to my right side, we're currently at $6,000, almost $400 for this event. And ladies and gents, I know I've been shouting it out a lot, but keep in mind that every dollar you donate goes directly to the prize pool of specific people who may want to be winning this tournament later.
I mean, I'll try. We'll see. It's not a done deal until it's a done deal, but we'll see how it goes.
Now, aside from just the community support, we really appreciate everything you guys have put in. We've been here slaving away, some more than others, and enjoying the show, honestly. It's been an absolute blast hanging out with all these people, but again, we just want to take a moment to thank our wonderful sponsor, SteelSeries, who's also involved here. They're everywhere. Thank you.
Love that.
So thank you very much, SteelSeries, for making sure that these players also get decked out in the end. Now, guys, Byzantines versus Delhi. Let's get back there. We have Lipany. Byzantines loves Lipany, right? I've felt the play
Delhi
on Lipany
too, actually.
Exactly. So both of these civilizations on a field, they feel like they belong. Who's taking the win? Is it on Civ draft or is it on skill?
I think it's a pretty 50-50. I think both players can win. Like Byzantine can win, Delhi can win. I personally prefer Delhi because it's more mobile, but I think Byzantine has obviously stronger army, and you know, whether you go javelins or longbows, or if you're trolling, if you go Keshiks. Biz has stronger army on paper and better economy transition, but Delhi I think has better timings, and having, you know, Ghazi Raiders running around into elephants is pretty strong. So it's a very timing based matchup where if it gets to a point with 5 elephants, you might be in trouble, but you can also get some really good engages with Byzantine.
So that's exactly
there we go, guys. We are live and direct. Welcome to the stream.
Very unique timing, and if you make that
Bro, they were yapping a lot. God damn it.
But with Byzantines, if you miss your window, or if you
want to watch the game,
smidge too early or
Byzantine, bro, I'm tired of seeing this matchup. Bro, I swear, in almost every single set we have a game of Byzantines versus Delhi.
If that happens.
Let's see. I think Myriad can win here, but sometimes he plays like shit. It's not like he plays like shit, sometimes he's just stubborn. Sometimes he just doesn't make the right units, or he takes a long time to age up or something like that. Sometimes he's just stubborn, but I think Myriad has good timings, and he's quite aggressive as well, not as aggressive as Vortex. Cat is more all-rounded, and I think he respects more his timings, or his civilization timings. I think Myriad is a better player, but sometimes Myriad shoots himself in the foot. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that we don't have any Dark Age action, which just tells me I'm here for a good time. I want to see some fuel action. I want to see what the decision is here with Pro Scouts, because I know Byzantine's obviously not one of those civilizations, but Delhi, on the other hand, they also don't need to rush anything. The Ghazi Raider provides such a powerful push forward, but we've seen Delhi against Pro Scouting civs, and I don't feel like we've seen a lot of Delhi against the others, the rest of them. Does Byzantine ever go Pro Scouts in this meta?
I don't know. I've tested it quite a bit, and it seems good, but it's also like, why wouldn't I just make farms instead of that? And I think in general, when you go Pro Scout with Byzantines, you kind of are not making as many mercenaries because you're not focusing on berries. So then you're kind of just playing a civ without mercenaries, which is the whole kind of point of Byzantine. They're very
true. Good point from Beast, of course.
So there's been some testings around it, but I feel like in general, it's probably better to just stick with berries. Maybe try to deny some of the Pro Scouting and just kind of play that way.
I'm learning by the moment, and I'm learning that both of these players going for the 4 age up, but nothing out of the ordinary here. Marianne making sure that wood income is looking solid, but he's pulled off of gold completely. So once we see Byzantine, oh, never mind, the villagers just were bugged there on top of it. I thought we have none on gold, but no, guys. Marianne has some villagers on gold there. Don't worry, he's getting his upgrades. No crazy shenanigans just yet. So nothing.
They're in stealth right now.
They're in stealth? Yeah.
So it's a new update. So yeah, pretty standard so far. The sheep count, I mean, honestly, in this matchup doesn't matter too much. Oh, they're still missing 7. That's crazy. you know, Byzantine is fine with like 5 or 6. You're not super dependent on them. You don't
True,
want to be
true.
0, but
Sheep not very important for both sieves.
at the same time,
They love berries.
Delhi
Both
probably
sieves love
the
berries
one
for
bit
different
more sheep, but
reasons.
in this case, Cat definitely got more of them so far. So I think the moment we see the ages going up, we'll see what their plan is in the actual game. And we see Cat has like a very wallable base, like very, very wallable. If he played like a defensive civ, this would be a great spawn. Simply because those wood lines and just the way the cliffs are working, he can wall that super easily. But yeah, we'll see what their plan is. I'm assuming there's going to be stable no matter what his choice is, and from then on, we get to see what Byzantine mercenaries will see.
And I think that's just the power of Delhi, right? With the stable, obviously you have your hard counters with the limited name, but I feel like the Ghazi Raider just provides that high level of mobility, just like any horseman, except they have maces and they look really cool. And I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my
Ghazi do look cool with the maces, yeah.
Pretty cool.
And they produce so fast because there's a scholar inside that stable, and that's what I absolutely love about them. So,
Oh, sorry guys, sorry.
putting down that stable at speed of light, scholar ready to put himself into that stable, producing at the speed of light. Resources are ready for it. He's ready to get that pressure, but Myriad, he's already answered. He has a limit in A out. He doesn't want to deal with those Ghazis going all over the map. What we see, the pro scouts has been clicked for Cat and prioritizing that over the other things coming from the mill. So we know that Myriad is going to need to make a play to deny that eventually, because Delhi, they do take their time.
Yeah, what's interesting is he's putting 8 on wood now. I'm not sure if he's going to keep rallying there, because you need a lot more on food to have consistent Ghazi production. And on the other side, Myriad has 3 on gold, because he's getting wheelbarrow and he has 160 gold more. So I'm pretty sure that is 3 on gold, which means he's going to be getting a lot of eco upgrades, potentially slowly moving to that fast castle. We see some Ghazis, but very defensive actually, not rallying them across the map. So he's just kind of keeping them here for now. I am not sure if that's it's a misrally or he's worried about something, but very soon we'll see the option of Cat. The next kind of thing he should be doing is going to be an archer range. And we see longbow choice, so not javelins, but going for longbows instead.
Oh, my question is, and I think a lot of Twitch chat might be thinking the same thing, when do you go longbows versus going javelins? Because in this case, what I'm thinking about is the camel superiority, especially when playing in something like Delhi once you get there, right? But Myriad might not be thinking about going to castle, no?
So, javelins versus longbows in this matchup specifically, I feel like javelins are probably better if you want to commit to fighting, especially against, like in this matchup against Delhi. So if your plan is to fight the sacred sides, make sure they don't take them, I think javelins are better. Long-term longbows are a lot easier to use.
Yeah, and easier to mass as well, yeah.
Them like javelins to get their value. So they're a lot easier to use. You get lens connect after, and you get to be very good against men-at-arms and stuff. But yeah, not having camel riders later on is kind of a bit of a problem against lancers and elephants. So it's kind of like a trade-off. It depends what your style is. And generally, longbows tend to be better for fast castle instead of javelins.
I can see that happening. That makes a lot of sense. And now what I want you guys to notice is this is a Ghazi army that's taking damage. And this is why I think Beastie also mentioned with the Ghazi standing still, it's not usually what we see coming out of players. Because when your Ghazis are standing still, they're not providing that pressure, making your opponent run around, get a little bit of idle time on the villagers. And they don't mind taking a little bit of damage because we've got unlimited healing from the Delhi Sultanate. Those units are going to go home and they're going to get a heal back to full once they stand next to all those religious men about to capture those sacred sites slowly as we see the upgrade finishing.
Yeah, we see Pro Scout finishing too. We'll see how quick Cat is going to be on that, if he's going to pounce on that, if you will. But he should try and get it as fast as possible because you don't
Damn, bro, I'm yawning like a motherfucker.
You kind of want to Pro Scout as fast as you can. So you can kind of get them out of the way and make sure you have food secured under your TC. But from what I'm seeing right now, Cat is fully committing. And I think he's stopped mining gold because he has 0 income per minute, no scholars in production. So I think he's just going to commit to a lot of feudal units. And on the other side, Myriad, we see a little bit of food building up. He's getting +1 ranged attack. He's going out a little bit, maybe try to deny those sacred sites. And after, he'll still have the option to age up if he wants to.
And that's pretty interesting because Cat now actually started to queue up some scouts. Before this, he was on one scout the whole time, taking his time. And now we see with that tower from Myriad, he's unsure about what the plan is here from Cat. But that tower just provides you with a little bit of defense to respond. And now getting an extra one on gold tells me, are we trying to do a responsible castle based on the movements of my opponent?
Yeah, and right now we see, so usually at this point as Delhi, you go for the just triple sacred side, you just kind of send it. But he actually only captured one and is now just going for another. We're going to see one will go down here, so nice little pick off. So he only captured one sacred side, and if I'm Myriad, I'm probably pretty happy with this situation. My opponent is on one sacred side. I didn't.
Yep.
I mean, okay,
yeah, not a lot of sacred sides for. Oh, actually, he's getting the second now.
Already, so
Cat is getting the second.
He will try to deny that, and Longbows will not be able to pick this color off. But he gets him away from sacred side, so he delays that a little bit. And if we look at the food income for Myriad and the food count, it looks like he's slowly going to go into castle. We saw that tower, like you mentioned, and he is rallying onto the gold, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So he is looking like he wants to just age up and take the game from there.
Now, with the sacred side timer not ticking, you don't feel that intense pressure of actually shutting them down so quickly. You don't worry about the Delhi getting all those free resources just by doing absolutely nothing. But Myriad now, he keeps making units, and this is what I call responsible castling. You keep making your units consistently when you know your opponent is too. You move out, you put a little bit of pressure down, but at the same time, you think about what's ahead. I'm not going to fully commit to this, but I do want to push back and delay my opponent. I want him to have to keep making units, because what Myriad is doing right now, he keeps putting a heavy amount of pressure on the map, and at the same time, he's slowly thinking about what's next for himself too. Well, Cat, on the other hand, he's just, you can see, there's a lot of guys he's in queue. He's spending every bit of resource he has. Now, this is risky for Myriad, because at some point, the Delhi army is going to be quite spicy. And the question is just, would he be able to hold the moment he hits castle? Because Cat's going to attack the moment Myriad clicks that button.
Yeah, and we see the third sacred side is a little bit to the west, like closer to Myriad's base. So still no attempt from Cat to capture that, which is a bit weird, because even if Myriad comes out, you can
Myriad is going castle very soon.
So you can just kind of run away. But like I said, I think if you're Myriad, you're pretty satisfied with how this is going. He probably is going to try to age up pretty quickly. And once he does that, yeah, there's going to be that attack from Cat where he's like, oh, you aged up, let me do a big push with the units that I have. And in this position, I feel like with that, he has double tower TC, he should be able to hold the big push. And especially with longbows, I feel like this is where they're a lot better than javelins, because javelins have a slow attack speed, they're harder to micro, where longbows you can just kind of kite around your TC and do as much damage as possible. But we see more units being queued out from Cat. Pro scouting doing work, and he's just kind of posturing left and right. Still no attempt at the left sacred side. Kind of wonder why he just doesn't attempt it. And we see Golden Horn Tower coming up right now. We'll see how many villagers he'll put on it. Looks like a 10.
There you go, Golden Horn Tower.
Now the question is just, does Myriad have the...
Oh, Cat with way more units though. 30. Bro, Delhi right now it's so predictable. They just mass Ghazis. Not mass, like 11, 15, and then they just mass archers. Also, it's because I'm always watching the same matchup of Byzantines versus Delhi, because I think the mass archers is a play for the Byzantine matchup. Because in almost every set it's these Byzantines. It's Delhi versus Byzantines. In almost every single matchup. Not matchup, set, I mean. There is at least one game of Byzantines versus Delhi. And it's usually in the start of the set, because there's still two very strong sieves. Zushi and Rus are always banned. Then China, French and GD are very strong with pro scouts. And I think the players want to save that for a bit later on into the set. Byzantines and Delhi, they don't really care about pro scouts, which is good actually. It's a matchup where usually there is no pro scouts, so the game feels different, which is great.
This is the part where it kind of gets awkward for Byzantine, because you kind of want to be on the map to take the berries, or you want to transition to farms, but if you do that, you might get completely outmassed by the Byzantine player.
Yeah, you lose so much tempo.
Kat is also aging up. And he has way more units, bro. Actually, he has 12 scholars, so he only has 45. He still has more units, yeah.
He doesn't feel too confident taking this fight because keep in mind, those upgrades are kicking in, and as I say that, they've kicked in, and now this army is upgraded. Those longbows are of the veteran variety, so them pushing out, they're going to be a little bit spicy to handle for a Delhi that has to wait for their upgrades to take a long, long time. Two prelates going down quickly after one another, and it doesn't look like those archers want to be fighting Limiten either. Never mind. Just as I say that, they decide to turn around and fire back.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. It's very much a matchup of timings, and right now Byzantine needs to do something, like not win the game or kill villagers, but at least reduce the Delhi unit count.
Yeah, make them bleed, totally. Myriad needs to make them bleed for sure.
Even though there's some scholars, they're still doing a lot of work. We see relics being taken, 3 right now coming back in. Will wall a lot to kind of block him from going into that area, but that is just a massive army right there from the Senor Meow.
And this is the
Senor Meow, lol.
Sometimes when you move out with those longbows, they just struggle to get back. He does pick off so many units, but this can be tragic.
I think Byzantine players need to start adding some horsemen.
The Limiten is on the elephant. It looks like there's a lot of attention focused on it. The archers target firing those Limiten themselves, and they do take a little bit of a punch. Varangian Guards also on the elephant. You can see the longbows trying to kill it at the same time. Gazi Raiders, they do a little bit of damage while standing there on the back line. Elephant does eventually go down, but the army mass from Myriad has been slowed down, and Byzantines, even though they have the oil, they do take a while to max this army out again. The longbows are trying to pick off as much as they can.
Myriad had to bleed the army from Delhi, but he was the one bleeding. He's now in a tough situation.
Yeah, Myriad, I mean, it's funny to say because he's like losing the fight, but he had a lot better engage there. He had way less units and he won the fight. And that's kind of what longbows are about, right? They're very expensive, they're very slow, but they will be very strong in the main fights. And we see 37 archers, but Myriad is making full
конечно,
so the only thing he needs is for the elephant, and his army comp is very good against what Cat has. So if you look at the army count, it still looks very bad for Myriad, but it's in this case it's quality over quantity. He just needs to, like I said, he needs to find something for these elephants, and crossbows would probably be the best choice. Because if you go Limitane, then you're just going to get absolutely butchered by the archers. So Sacred Sides are still active, by the way. That's something he definitely needs to work on. Disable those because they're giving him so much gold right now.
Yeah, the Sacred Side's ticking. It's just that little bit of resource that Cat doesn't have to worry about now. And yes, these longbows are doing an amazing
Cat is in such a good position.
We can see now the elephants, they're struggling by chasing behind, and the longbows are doing the best at kiting right now. It's looking great, but look at those elephant charge in, and the Varangian Guard looks like paper once he steps on top of him.
Yeah, he's choosing to go Limitane, which, again, you know, they're great against elephants, but if there's this many archers, they're not going to do well. And Cat is just doing the good old mass elephant and mass archer combo, and this is where, like I said, crossbows shine quite a bit. Mir's doing a good job kiting, but when you're fighting in the middle of the map, this kind of thing, you're trading very, very well. But now when we're getting to his base, there's no place to kite, so you actually have to kind of stand and fight.
Defender's advantage, though, with a lot of free units, can turn the game around. Cut with the 16 scholars, so that means he has around 45 units. 44. But the elephants are so tough to deal with. I think Myriad can't handle it. The lunge connected doing a lot of damage, actually. But it's so many elephants, 1,200 food per minute for Cat. Yeah, some crossbows, perhaps, would be very good for Myriad. Welcome, Zero High. Welcome, welcome. Sorry about that. Oh, I have no water here. I have to grab some water.
Deal with them that quickly, but look at Cat's resources. Cat is cooking. And I don't know if we would cook an Imperial. What do you get from going Imperial with Delhi at this point?
Everything. That's the best part. You get everything. Military upgrades, eco upgrades, university upgrades. OP elephants, you get absolutely everything. And he's got 18 scholars, so his upgrades are going to be super quick. And the thing about his cat's army, it's very, very tanky.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
even losing one elephant is a big deal, but the archers are pretty cheap, right? And that's the only thing he was committing to. Pretty sure he is still not...
Can Myriad turn this one around? Because basically Cat is 50 military, Myriad is 37. I just think Myriad does not have the right units. Uh-oh. Oh, what is that Imperial Age? Bro, I still get surprised how Delhi does this. How can Delhi pump elephants and go Imperial? Essa caixa.
É caixa do bolo.
Ah, also works, right?
The thing is, Cat has such a sizable army for someone aging up. So with the Palace of the Sultan being built for 16 vills, you know this man, he's committing
that
to
helps.
this. The elephants take
Keep
the
the
front
hype up.
line here. The archers firing away. We see those scholars doing their best at healing absolutely everything up at the front.
Can unban Monkey?
Elephant.
Yeah.
Guys trying to
In a couple of days, yeah.
the longbows.
In a couple of days.
Damage, but just not like before. Imperial Age is here, and this is where Myriad feels like he needs to
He doesn't like watching Castle games anyway, so
I've got a timing here where your units are
he's not missing much content.
squishy, but I don't know if this fight is something you can take anytime soon.
Yeah, we're not seeing the Limitane shields turned on, so they're getting picked off super, super quick. The elephants are all kind of half HP, about to die, but not quite. We do see some...
He wants to join the watch party. Alright. I'll think about it. I'll take a decision soon. I'll take a decision soon.
As he did is because the Sacred Sites have been online for probably about
Smells like good.
minutes, and they're providing so much gold to him that he does not need to mine any gold, so he can actually...
Thanks, my friend. No problem, no problem.
Like 40 villagers on food and maybe 20 on wood, and sustain all this and sustain the age up at the same time. So the Sacred Sites have been active for so
Myriad lost a lot of units.
Resources.
He can't keep up.
That's usually the question most players ask. How is Delhi doing this? How does Delhi have an army like that?
It's really good. Estavas a precisar. I thought about it.
Most of the time, you don't realize how much value a sacred site can give you. Now the question is the food transition behind this. We saw Cat slowing down with food for a little bit, and I think
You guys enjoying the tournament? I'm enjoying the tournament. We had some matches yesterday that were a bit boring, to be honest. There was a match that took almost an hour. God damn it. Because of Chinese siege. No, I think that was the only boring match. Because like it was Demu versus Baltoon, and Demu had a huge advantage, and he couldn't finish the game because of siege. That match kind of... And I was casting that match, by the way. That was a bit frustrating to watch. Otherwise, it was great games. I think the players have similar levels. Of course, BC is the strongest. But besides BC, I think players have similar levels, which leads to very entertaining matches.
Boost for his whole army, and we see Limitane just kind of going in one by one and just getting picked off. He's doing a very good job kiting back. He's chilling with the Sacred Sites. We still see that he's still on the barriers on the map, so he's getting those. And even though the game is pretty active, you know, this might be one of those for Myriad where it's like, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I was microing the whole game. I didn't do like super bad fights, and this is how the game turned out. And I think a lot of it comes to just...
He's drinking some water.
So much
thinking about the next game.
Yeah, but you can see with that army difference, this is looking
scary. Yeah, it's... Bro, I don't understand how Delhi can pump elephants and go Imperial like that. It's crazy.
Their best, but Myriad knows this is not the fight he wants to be taking. Myriad's those elephants about to get on top of his army. No more
GG, game 1 is out, guys. Game 1 is over.
I need to try in the next game.
Let's go game number 2. Game number 2. Quickly now. Quickly now.
It might be one of those like nothing bad happened, so how did this go so wrong? But you know, not having the crossbows immediately, longbow kiting was very good. But if you're just shooting your longbows into the elephants with massive armor and then Cats moving them back, maybe healing them up, this is kind of how it goes. And Delhi left untouched like that, controlling Sacred Sites. Relic count was 3-2, I believe, so it wasn't too bad. But in the end, I feel like Cat just played pretty straightforward, you know, just attacking, fighting while controlling most of the map.
Now we can see with that military value lead, the Delhi just slowly increasing. And that's just the story of Delhi. I want you guys to also notice the 8 p.m. cat is a fast AF boy.
He's a
right
fast
there.
cat.
Fast cat.
Reflex.
Yes.
We
Wow.
may. Wow. Only
What kind of
two
cat
relics.
would he be?
What kind of cat would he be?
Cat.
Cat.
Like a
Like a
tiger.
oh, I thought you meant
house
like
cat.
domestic types of cats. I don't
Or
know.
that.
I don't know. I feel like cat might be like a cheetah.
Damn.
He's fast AF, and I don't know.
Cat
if
is
he
a cheetah,
responds,
alright.
but,
I was thinking
He's
about one of
flying.
those like Egyptian.
Because they had same resources.
That's how you associate him?
But maybe it was inflated because of the oil count?
Because he's fast. He's very
He's
aerodynamic.
fast. Okay. And Myriad, on the other hand, what animal would you associate him with?
He's like
This is a hard question, isn't it? Which
No,
chat,
I'm
we need
thinking
your
of an
help
animal,
here.
but I can't. Like a koala bear.
Yeah, he is kind of. He's like he's nice and cuddly, but at the same time, he's got a strong identity.
Yeah. Or like a drop bear.
A drop bear just falls out of the sky and ends you.
Yeah, those exist.
Yeah, I know. I actually thought they were just from like movies and stuff. But
Yeah.
is that a type of bear, or was it just like an instance of bear?
Aren't they koalas?
Oh, I thought a
Aren't they
drop
a type
bear
of
is
koala?
is an
I
actual
actually don't
bear.
know, but it looks like a koala, kind of.
I feel like we've just
Maybe like a panda.
like a panda. But Myriad is a little bit faster than a panda. I think if you want to panda it up, we're going back to the old recon days of Age of Empires. But ladies and gents, that is exactly what we do over here on the stream. When Whammon and Beastie is on here, we go off the rails. The train has left the station, and let's quickly look at what's. Alex, do you see the donation bar went up $100 since we last stepped on this? Guys, supporting a LAN. Thank you, sirs and ladies, and whoever else has contributed to the fund. But at the top, we have unknown map with HRE and French. Now, as an HRE versus French pro, I feel like we need a little prairie and a burger in here, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah.
True.
But French versus HRE, I think I've asked you this question IRL, but I think maybe Twitch chat also wants to know.
Well,
How do those two match up against one another?
HRE and French.
I mean, in my
It
opinion,
depends.
HRE should only lose to Rus. So I would say HRE should
Yeah.
always win. But I do think
It depends on the
that
player.
French versus HRE can get tricky for HRE.
Yeah.
Like if your chap
But
is forward,
listen, guys,
there's a
BC said it, it
massive
wasn't
difference
me.
If your chap is in the back, so it can
HRE
be
should
one
only
competitive
lose to
map.
Rus.
Post
I know.
match, actually,
And then
I
you
feel
have
like
people
the
out here
chapter
saying
forward
HRE is
quite
not
a bit,
good.
and
It's
I don't know
crazy.
if
Waiting for DLC to make my route on bro. Plus, to be honest with you, I'm bored as well with AoE4. That's why I'm not playing anymore.
So that means that usually
I am indeed bored. It's always professional scouts. A lot of times it's like mass crossbows into siege that you can't kill. It's just like, man, I'm very excited for the DLC. Very, very excited for the DLC. And you know what kind of killed my excitement? It was that mid-season patch where they didn't change much, where they basically made the Japanese barracks cheaper, and that was basically it. Because, like, we have so many civilizations, we kind of need a little bit more changes to keep things interesting, because most civs play in one or two ways, and that ends up being boring, you know? I'm just quite bored about Age of Empires 4, and about playing casting as well, because it's always... I still like casting, I still do it, but it's always about pro scouts, mass crossbows, mass siege, if they can. You know what I'm saying? Here, watching pro games is different, of course, because the maps are also different. I think the organizers in a lot of tournaments have been choosing the maps really well to avoid the pro scout spam, or to avoid the spam of the same saves. But I think the DLC will bring a lot of fresh life to the game. It will also change how we play the game because of the Templars. I think I'll love playing the Templars because they really bring change to the game. And I also think we need faster ways to finish the game. There are a lot of games, as well on pro level, when one player has the advantage and they can't finish the game, and it takes like 10 minutes to finish the game or something. I think that could be a little bit fixed as well. But right now we're enjoying here the watch party. Let's go.
Where he put the barracks is a great spot for chapel. Actually, he has a chapel on the goldish.
We are in coastal cliffs. HRE versus French.
This is a pretty good chapel. I just want to note that for a moment.
But
you
it
can
is.
see tiny
Where is
woodlines.
it? Where is the chapel, though?
Where's the chapel? It's forward, but that early game we talked about where you can maybe pick off a knight or two, get your eco going. I don't know. I feel like it's forward, but it's the best case scenario for this map because it can be protected by very tiny walls, no knights rushing in from the sides too early on. But
and we see both players getting the beastie spawn,
oof.
both goals in front, and I would say most of the time this does not matter for French because they're the ones that are aggressive, but if you are experiencing what he's about to experience, that is a big deal. And Cat, maybe knowing his opponent, he is actually mining gold with 6, and he's also getting the wheelbarrow. So not only he gets wheelbarrow, but he will also get enough gold to be able to age up, which is, the funny thing is, so this is the part of the scouting and just kind of understanding the game. Does Myriad now realize, okay, he clicks on the gold, he sees, okay, he mined this amount of gold, so he has enough for age up and a knight, but there's actually no knight. So if he misreads this, he might put spears defensively to defend against knight, but there is not even one coming. So Cat reading the game pretty well, getting the gold he needs, and gets out of there.
And you can see here Cat running around with quite a lot of sheep. The man is going to have some loot when he gets back. But what I'm a little bit worried about here is, oh, actually, I first want a few theory craft. Imagine now if Myriad spawned on the other side. That woodline and that gold, very, very exposed. But like you said, he's in control, or Cat's in control. He's going to be able to dictate that type of aggression, in theory. But where is he going to get the gold for that first night, though?
Oh, he's got the beastie specialist.
Let's go, let's go.
There's also in front. Okay, I didn't see that. So
archers.
I mean, yeah, he has to go archers, and this is the part where some players adapt a lot better than others. Some players are kind of like, it's very good to do this type of build against them because they might be like,
there we go.
oh, like,
School of Cavalry, 6 age up.
Pro scout, so then you have to go archer range. But then you go archers, but then the horseman arrives, so you're like, oh god, do I have to make a barracks? Do I make cavalry? What do I do? And the game can
I can chapel on gold, wood, and sheep.
School of Cavalry coming out with 6, so he wants to age up fast in order to get the archer, and I'm assuming to continue the gold mining. And on the other side, we see very fast chapel too, right? Even though he went spearman, he does have 5 on the age up, and I think this is the case where getting that early wheelbarrow might have worked against him because the age ups will be almost exactly the same. Which is not the place you want to be after someone barracks rushes you.
Now, the good thing I would say for Cat's side here is he got a lot of sheep. So him not being able to go for those professional scouts early on that most people would like to do, he has a lot of sheep that will last him a little bit of a lifetime here. So he will be able to have enough food for quite a while. That is going to be a very fed army. But let's go see if Myriad tries to make a play for those deer all around the map himself. The deer spawns, though, a little bit all over the place here, especially on Cat's side. He is going to be able to defend those if push comes to shove. Now, what is your prediction? Do we see a pro scout here from Myriad, or do we just see pure... Okay. No, I was going to say pure aggression, but
even if he didn't want to, with the amount of sheep that he has gotten, he has to. So I don't think he really has a choice there. And we saw that he was inspiring...
A lot of sheep for Cat.
Which means that with
a lot of sheep for Cat.
That is enough to get pro scouting. Is that a tower
That's
going
a
up
tower.
with the gold?
Or observer, show us the gold, please, sir. Please. Get up, and he did get one
Observant, sir.
One of them will pay with his life, but he did scare a villager away from it. Cat wants his gold back. He says...
Cat is wild. Okay, I did not expect he's going to pull 8 villagers and build a tower, but there it is. And
hey, he lost no villagers though. That was good.
Because if he did, he would have spearmen there preventing that immediately. So Cat will go back on the gold, but this is kind of the power of HRE, right? So if you look at this game and you were not told the spearman rush happened, you're kind of like, oh, French is in a pretty bad spot because HRE is already researching pro scouting. French is making scouts. There is no knight presence. And already, I think Myriad is looking like he is in a pretty good spot. We see another stable, so he's
double stable
for an archer range. He says, you know what?
Scouts, baby.
I'm
And
just
double
gonna
Yeah,
scout
scout it, baby.
He is going to go for those deer as quickly as possible. You don't want to give that over to HRE because when HRE gets those beautiful scouts drop off that food under the chapel, you are in for a very tough time. Spearman now being made upgraded as well, and professional scouts almost done for Myriad. He doesn't have a lot of scouts in position to be able to do anything yet. He's got a singular one on the field, and we'll see if he's going to be able to go and snack on one of the deer from Cat's side. We call this a good little yoink, but what we talked about a little bit earlier, guys, is the fact that French has that faster villager production, and we can see exactly that. Cat is slowly going to start getting more and more vills than Myriad. And Myriad does have that eco advantage at the start because of the chapel, but he needs to be careful. Cat can scale this. He just needs to get enough food back to the home. Now, Myriad does do the first yoink of the game. The Spearman getting into position to deny any of Cat's scouts to try and get his own food. Now, Cat's scouts being a little bit spicy, a little bit idle right now, waiting. They have not realized that they're... they've finally realized that they're allowed to pick up those deer. The upgrade has kicked in. And the first knight, though, is looking for a snack.
Yeah, and I really like so far, like I said, Myriad's position, if he continues making spears and just running them around, it becomes pretty annoying for...
Yeah, very hard for Cat to defend all the spearmen. I've seen this movie before.
This is double stable knight, so...
And then it's exactly what BC said. Then you start making archers and then the horsemen arrive. And it's ready for the French now.
And kill the spearmen, but with double knight, your army is very mobile, so you can kind of go from deer pack to deer pack and just mow down all the spearmen, because there's usually going to be like 1 or 2 at a time. And if you do that, then you kind of open yourself up to... Oh, there's villagers chilling.
That's a lot of idle time.
Yeah,
come on.
Strike there,
Myriad.
Not doing anything until I get fed a good old deer carcass. Delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'll grab some coffee. Ask my girl to make coffee, but I think she forgot. I'll be right back.
Not yet, I feel like, big tell enough. It's only 3 knights. Now, if he sees like 2 more coming out all of a sudden, that might be big of a tell. He does pick up a knight, loses 4 spearmen, I think, for it. So, not the greatest trade, but killing a knight always feels good. And the longer this game goes, he needs to realize, oh, there is actually no archers. Because one of the mistakes that you can make is misreading it and starting to make horsemen, but you're up.
Oh, and then
like
he
that.
makes it, yeah.
Oh, he's double stable too.
He's double stable, wanted to get a lot of scouts out, but now with the horsemen, this is going to be a very tough trade against Cat's army, because we can see here, Cat actually getting ranged armor in all of this. Does this tell us he's going to try to dive?
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, I mean, especially the woodland.
Coffee's being made. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. How are we doing this beautiful Saturday? Day to focus on your limits and boundaries, on the work we have done during the week, to focus on your networking and association, structure, and infrastructure as well.
That was me.
Okay.
I said because of pro scouting, scouting stopped being pro.
So people don't scout as much, and
yeah, that's true.
Right here.
I'm starting to think when I go pro scouts to not use. I mean, actually, I do that.
The funny thing is,
I use one scout
I think he might be hiding them
to keep with the army, to keep in the army, you know.
But there is no archers.
Instead of using all the scouts
you're trying to be a 5-head
to
and mind game your opponent, but it's actually a quarter-head. But you didn't know, right? So this is how the meta changes. This is how people play. And now we see, because Cat doesn't see horsemen, he's going into archers. So the Myriad...
But horseman is coming. Horseman is coming in.
Myriad did stop making horsemen when he realized they are only knights.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be a little bit confusing for both of them with like what's happening. Like, Cat will come out with archers because there's no horsemen, and then he will arrive, and now he sees the horseman. He's like, wait, why do you have horsemen? I didn't make any archers. So.
But with those horsemen, he actually does see that the archers have joined the party. He's like, oh, okay, we do have a use for them. He tries to get us around on the knight, and the thing is now, with chivalry kicking in for Cat, this is going to be such an important thing for Myriad to do. He needs to kill those knights, because without killing them, they're just going to regen and be spicy again. And that's exactly why we get +1 range defense.
Oh, hey! Hello, Rising Empires. Hello. Bruh.
Because
There we
those
go.
boys, they want to dive, and they're getting some victims at it. These villagers running for their lives. We get some falling down, and unfortunately, because of some
good raid. Where are the spearmen for Myriad?
Oh, wow.
Snack on these bills. The spearmen,
Bruh.
they're trying to fight for the villagers.
Myriad kinda throwing. Myriad kinda throwing, hello.
Lost in this, and honestly, I thought there would be more casualties.
And none of the knights died. And that's why, kids, you get +1 range armor.
And this is
Yeah.
also why, kids, we don't let knights run freely into our base. We also wall, make a tiny wall there.
Yeah, a little wall would do quite a bit there. And we saw in Cat's base, I think there's triple archer range right now and double stable. Yep. And so he is fully committing to this. He's saying, you know what, I'm going for it, I'm putting pressure. On the other side, Myriad has a different idea. Now, both ideas are cool, but it's the question is, can Myriad actually hold this push? Because if he manages to hold, he'll get the access to knights, to potentially men-at-arms, or just upgrades his unit in general. Now, the problem with HRE and the forward chapel that I was talking about, all his gear is under the chapel, which is basically unavailable for gathering right now.
And now the villagers are running back and forth. They're trying to find a goal in life. More dying under the chapel. It looks like this is a distraction, but we can see the back gold finally giving Myriad a place where he can go, but more villagers will be falling. 7 total at this point, and Myriad says, I need to do something about this, and the only thing I think I can do is try and cut off the reinforcements. Spearmen now, the tower will stay up, but the horsemen are going to be able to get on top of those archers. The problem is the spearmen might be targeted anyway. Now, this is a pretty good army here for Myriad, but he cannot go out too far, and that's exactly what he does. Those spearmen
He can. He can.
But it doesn't.
There are not enough archers. There are enough archers on the field, but not here.
Yeah, and the thing in all this,
it's a lot of knights for Cat.
Ranged armor, so all this diving, like you said, he overextended quite a bit, and he did not have +1 range armor.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get baited against these archer armies. You're like, oh my god, I'm going for it. I'm going to commit. And then you don't manage to actually kill all the units, and on retreat, oh my god.
I see a lot of people against French RJV edging up too early.
There is 13 villagers killed.
You know.
The chapel is
because usually when I play GD or French, I lose when they are able to have a good feudal army and then edge up.
It feels like this is the hill you're going to be dying on. And it feels like with Myriad now, he's just asking himself, do I continue? Do I go fight for my... Look at that nice little wall his villagers have chopped.
14 Myriad.
But they are cleaning out in a line. It's
the GG.
Wood line they can find. Myriad, though, he's getting...
I think he shouldn't... Bro, a lot of times I see HRE losing, it's because they choose to edge up at the worst timing.
I'm not going to cut it against that many French ones. We see another tower coming up for Mr. Cat. Oh, Mr. Cat, Mr. Myriad. He's trying to hold on for dear life.
Nah.
14 dead villagers and more French.
Now let's go. Knights to the raid.
Base. This is where you realize, hey, I can probably not take this. The knights arrive at the gold. The boys will not live to tell the tale. And this is just another full idle economy. Myriad realizes, hey, I'm cooked, I would say.
Yeah, it is not looking good. The villagers are running. Well, what's left of them? There's not a lot of villagers, but those that are in the game, they are running. And they do have wheelbarrow, so you got to look at the positives. You know, they're running faster than they could. And he's just clapping one by one.
GG.
Not looking happy about that
GG.
Now,
Castle Edge timing killed Myriad. Thank you very much.
This is the issue with a best of 5 right now. This is match point. Cat probably feeling pretty happy here. And Myriad, this is
probably
where the pressure comes. Yeah, probably not. Well, that's a really good deduction there, sir.
This Cat has his own headset. It looks cool.
He needs to decide, okay,
it's a cool green.
Where do I go from here? Do I actually try to commit to my original game plan, or am I going to need to be a little bit spicy to handle the meow? This cat, he's got his kitty claws
what
out.
Was that?
It's a cat noise.
Jesus, what kind of cat have you seen?
It's like a cat that's in the middle of a fight.
That's true, she's right. Cats in the middle of the fight do weird noises, yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, what is going on? Are you... And we see Cat is on fire. Look at this, 339 APM.
Did we actually...
Proof that more APM equals wins games.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This
so,
is literally correlation... Oh, Yeah.
I know where you're going.
Causation.
Yeah. So
yeah.
there you go, guys. It's proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is in the screen. So.
And the pudding is APM.
And we're putting it on the screen, yeah.
What kind of flavor? Probably strawberry.
What is cat flavor? Milk flavor.
Milk, catnip,
Okay.
Yeah.
salmon. Cats love
I
salmon.
just want to point out to you guys that Cat with 339 APM, I actually feel like we didn't get clearance from the tournament organizers to get people to come in at the speed of light to click those buttons. Damn.
Wow.
I haven't seen an APM that high in a while.
I think his mouse and keyboard might be on fire right now.
We do have backups. Thank you, Steel Series, for providing us backups.
Yep,
If
yep.
Cat goes a little wild with that APM.
That's right.
Now-
And these don't overheat, let me tell you that. But, I mean, come on. I've been
Are
using
you fast? Are you fast?
Not as fast as cat. Nobody is. I mean,
Is
cats are
like
cats are actually some of them the fastest animals on Earth. So,
Wow.
Yeah, with the reaction timing, yeah.
Yeah, there's domestics and domestic and wildcats. Some climb trees after catching their prey. They climb them all the way up on the tree and just snack them there. Some sleep on the trees.
Wow.
Some sleep under the tree.
What about this one?
He sleeps in the bed, I think.
What?
So he's a house cat.
They're starting to sound a little bit like Drongo on the casting.
One of those cats that
Going
are
crazy.
wild, but they keep it in the house.
Yeah.
The cops don't know.
Nice. So
2-0 up. Where do you go here, Fres Myriad? I mean, you lost Hatred, lost Byzantine. This is
He lost very two strong sieves.
see,
not good.
I'm looking at the maps that are left, and I don't feel like Myriad's the kind of guy who would pick, any
A water map, yeah.
on anything that's high
Yeah,
risk like this.
on a match
So we
point
still have a little
for the
board, we have a
opponent.
little Arabia in here that he can pick from, and those are pretty safe picks. But Myriad, it seems to be that Myriad was the one that picked
Four
Four
legs.
legs.
Yeah, so I think in this situation, you're getting beat on the Pro Scout maps, right? So
Yeah.
I think this is a good
Refresh.
time to be like, you know what? Let's try water.
Okay.
Let's see
Bro,
what this
moving
actually
out is
does.
always banned. Players hate moving out. Me too.
What you're gonna play there.
Me too.
because Cat can play multiple things there actually, which is kind of interesting. If Myriad goes for Japanese,
Yeah,
and four
on water,
legs,
Cat can play
Cat
China,
actually-
all Mongols, Eng-Pt, or Order the Dragon.
try secure to win. China's
To be
very
honest,
strong
he
there.
can play anything on
But
water
Mongol
right
can
now.
counter Japanese. You can actually go Ayubid or OTD. So four legs might not be a bad one if you have one pick and the opponent has multiple to just pick that and see what he's going to use, so you can see for the rest of the series what he's going to play. Because if you're playing on one of the other maps like Gorge or Dry Arabia or Coastal, the opponent can play multiple civs. So if you pick it, you're kind of gambling what he's going to get. So four legs might give you a little bit more information, but maybe he doesn't want to go out for a swim. Although cats are not very good in water.
I was about to say that. We'll see.
They
if
actually
it's
are, they just don't like it.
Or if it's a house
Although,
cat.
as a cat person or a cat facts person,
Yeah.
some cats do actually hunt in water.
Told you.
Yeah. Okay. And
They hunt. There's that cat that eats crocodiles.
Damn.
what cat is that? Maybe this one.
I think jaguar actually, or cheetah. One of those.
The 3D
Great
cat.
swimmers. Some cats are great swimmers.
Okay.
Tigers love water, for example.
Yeah, they do.
And some hunt in water. So I don't know what. We still don't know what type of cat it is. We asked the production. They don't know either. So four legs. We'll kind of see how good he is there.
That's a lot of yapping, bro. Get the game rolling. Get the game rolling. That's a lot of yapping.
Reflexes are going to reflect on water, but Cat adjusting those glasses. You can see both of these players. They both wear glasses, which indicates some serious top-notch gaming, right?
Yes. Best gamers use glasses.
Crocodiles in water, so there you go. That's a fact. I told you guys I'm a cat fact person. If you don't believe me, fact check me in Twitch chat. Now the interesting thing is do we have any map with a lot of stealth force? Because Myriad would do well there.
Why? Because he has very nice glasses, or
no? Because he's a drop bear.
Oh, he's a drop for
So I think he would do like High View, probably his favorite map. I would imagine.
You mean Pigeon's View? We're in a tournament.
Pigeon's
session,
View.
Please?
Well, either one of those. I think he would do really well in it. And he's looking focused. He's looking like I'm about to drown you.
The cat looks like.
I'm about to make a fishing ship. That's the face of him.
This water though.
He's like, I'm making a, look,
cats
he's
do
making
like
a dock. I
fish.
can see it in his face.
That's gorge.
That's the wrong screen. Come on. We're
Come on,
supposed
guys,
to be on
I
four
think
legs.
we're in the wrong game here. Where's the water?
See, this is the thing.
Myriad
maybe
JD.
more information on Cat. Maybe he found out throughout the series what kind of cat he is. He's like, you know what? I'm not going in the water.
He's actually a catfish.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, I'm a catfish. And Myriad
He's a catfish.
I want to keep that one in my pocket.
Well, he has to go in water eventually.
Yeah.
If he wins here, the water is coming, because if our assumptions are correct, that means the cat is Jaguar, and he will be picking 4 lakes next.
But if he is a catfish, they do require water to survive, and he could have kept him out on the dry land for so long that he's not going to be able to survive on water. I feel like we're really going deeply into the story. I'm really invested. But Gorge, though. Gorge is the map of dreams when you have 2 scouts. And that's what Cat has.
I got stunned right there.
You got stunned.
I'm back, though.
You're back. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. This is the Garrison, and we're ready to run into match point between Cat and Myriad. Jean against China. And as we know, people have been sleeping a little bit on the JD, but the Chinese pick, a very common one. Nobody is surprised on this civilization getting a nice little priority on something like Gorge. Gorge is definitely a map where most civilizations flourish, and China can flourish on multiple of these. Very, very happy to get a pick like that. What is that?
Oh, wow.
What Jean is building from the other side. I was about to say, what is she cooking? Myriad, though, he's going to be a hungry boy.
Yeah, I mean, two scouts versus 1, especially being Chinese scouts having extra vision. I would even say...
Well, bro, their stream is stopping a lot.
Sometimes that's
there we go. We back.
Good number.
We back, guys.
What you can sometimes get. So it is going to be 14 versus 5, which means there's one more sheep somewhere.
I mean,
hiding. Oh, yoink.
We got him.
Okay, there we go. So 15 versus 5.
Ooh.
For Mirror, that's going to be a.
It's really bad.
But look at the bright side. He found some sheep, and he's playing a civ that will go pro scouts. So he's got.
But 15 versus 5, it's ridiculous.
That,
Myriad is struggling. Struggling.
Myriad does have a pretty good fighting chance. This is not the days of the old where China was beating French constantly.
Yeah.
JD has a pretty good shot here, so we'll see.
Pro Scouts really saved French and JD, bro.
This time around.
It's all because of the food access, because other civs just had way better food access, and China was not even the best civ to access food because they got starved very quickly, but they could just get themselves into a better position than French and JD. But it was so painful to play French and JD before because of the lack of food.
But luckily, he does have enough food for when the Age-Up comes through to instantly queue up that first knight. So we'll see where that knight is going to be running straight towards. We see the knight in queue, and this is going to be an harassment, Myriad, against the kitty cat, and see if the kitty cat is actually going to let him get close enough to do some damage. That's the problem with Gorge, right? With the knight coming his way, he's going to be able to harass the gold quite easily, as our wonderful observer is showing us. But the question is, what then? You're playing against a civilization that has imperial officials. They don't need to mine gold. They just think about them and take it from the citizens by attacks.
They just yoink that money. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Melee or range JD?
Melee.
China?
Always. Always melee, bro. Always. Range JD weak, bro. No, it's not. I just don't know how to play with range JD.
I've been seeing a lot more range JD recently. Like, even in
Yeah.
matchups where I would kind of think melee is better. I think it's one of those. It's like, would I rather have melee JD that does more damage, or would I have range that does
Which is, yeah, exactly. It's totally that question. Stronger JD or immortal JD?
So with Myriad being on JD, he's gonna be okay defending her for a while, unless Cat is a spicy boy and makes a ton of spears. The problem is just she gets to poke those down pretty easily. Spears now gonna be joining the party. Barracks finally plopped down here by Cat. This is gonna mean that those 2 singular scouts are gonna need to do the majority of the pro scouting. Myriad, though, getting his 5th scout already, he's gonna be wanting to snack the deer from all sides of the map.
Yeah, the pro scouting game has begun right now, and we'll see who gets the better end of things. We do see Spearman coming, melee JD. that's going to be joining. The good part about melee JD at this point in the game is you can actually just go in 3 spears and just be like, what's up, and just slap them around. The bad part is once the Zuginu come out, or crossbows,
Zuginu!
Boom, boom, and then she's resurrecting at the TC like a vampire. You just can't kill her.
But yeah, Zuginu destroy JD, the JD unit, not JD save the unit itself. Because of they do 3 attacks.
She can do a lot more damage, but then later on, range 1 becomes great for sniping siege. She actually one-shots Springles is level 3.
Scout down! Cut! Coming out! Bro, the Spearman Supervision is such a good counter to the JD civilization. Bro, it's always weird when you're casting JD, because you always have to distinguish between JD the unit and JD the save, you know?
And like we said, you want to yoink as much as you can from your opponent. Right now, Cat only now getting those 2 extra ones, but him going for his own yoink on the other side of the map. 2 successful yoinks from Cat, but he needs to be careful about the route there. There's another knight coming from the base, and we'll see if he tries to intercept. Myriad's not the kind of guy that's going to sleep on the spawns.
Yeah, and there's 2 different types of JD style. You can go for pure knights and try to do some kind of faster age up into royal bloodlines, or you can just do the standard knight archer. So we're gonna see, can we take a little peek at Myriad's base to see if he had added any yeah, so it is double knight for now. Now we might see archers, kind of like what Cat did last game, so you might do double archer range after, but for now it looks a lot of knights, and we see horsemen already, so this is, I feel like we're seeing, it's exactly the same thing from the last game, except the players have switched in what they're doing. So if Myriad recognizes, oh, you're actually making horses, you can just continue making knights, or even potentially better, you can go into spearmen.
I was actually going to ask that because I think we've seen quite archers as the answer. Oh my gosh,
that's funny.
No, it's going to play out the same way. No,
yeah, JD. I think JD needs to look more different than French, because they kind of play in the same way. So imagine. Kat just played French last game, and now Myriad is playing JD, and it's kind of like the same gameplay, but yes, JD. It's too many units, bro. Too many units. Can't handle it, bro. Bro. There we go, there we go.
Gonna be getting a first horseman kill, and she's still very much alive. The knights, they did get poked a little bit, but nothing a little heal cannot fix.
Yeah, those spearmen are very close to dying. So JD got the Q ability off twice, which means that those spearmen will die from a charge plus auto. So that is potentially a lot of snacking for the JD experience. We see barbecue.
Oh, Song Dynasty coming in.
The spearmen running again, and she Qs them. That will be bad news for him. And you can see how he wants to kill JD, but he also does not want to get Q ability on his whole spearman, so it's kind of a funny one where you look at so many spearmen and he's trying to run away. And yeah, if these units die, that's going to be a lot of experience. So look at that.
But JD's hitting a lot of damage.
Really well.
Just with that singular archer, he's just trying to poke down those last of the spearmen here. Oh, and another one, and another one.
And another one. DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled.
He is loving this fight. The archer going down onto the horse. She does get surrounded, though. Myriad does have a lot of gold in the bank, so he will be able to bring her back, but she got a decent chunk of experience. I wouldn't say worth it, but definitely not the worst situation for him to lose JD to.
So if you're in this situation as JD, even though that didn't look good, he lost a knight and he lost JD. 3 knights are like... 4 knights are actually super low. He needs to get the healing
but it was about momentum, though.
From that. Now,
he was able to stop that mass spearman from just going straight into the base, which is super valuable.
So many units, China has to stay in feudal for a little bit longer. So
exactly.
He doesn't do any damage. Cat can just be like, you know what, I got 10, 15 spearmen, I got 5, 6, 7 horses, I'll just age up, and there's not much you can do about it. So this way you kind of force him to make some more units, and we see Zuginu coming. Now these might be defensive, or he might actually be committing to just full-on feudal fighting, and this is the part where that JD is going to have a lot more trouble staying alive. And if you look, there is no JD on the screen.
Yeah, he has not committed to buying her back.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to buy JD back, to be honest.
Extra fast. The Knights trying to find a little bit of damage. They do get a poke down on a village or two, but the Barbican will provide a level of protection. But that amount of villagers that you see standing there on gold, thinking about their actions for a little while, they do signify something. And that's either getting a lot of upgrades pretty quickly or thinking about going to Castle. And with the resources we see here from Cat, Castle is not off the table. He's definitely hinting that way. Myriad, on the other hand, he also has a lot of villagers there on gold, so he gets to make that decision, that responsible castle if he wanted to, but instead going for chivalry. So chivalry going to allow those low HP knights actually to heal up a little bit, but with the amount he has in gold, he should be able to follow suit once he sees that the castle is coming himself. Now, the Jugunu are getting their ranged upgrades now, so they are going to hit a little bit harder, but 11 knights against what Cat has? I feel like Myriad is very interesting timing here. You can see the army value is telling us a story, and it's a story of destruction if we are not careful.
The demon is back from the dead now.
Oh
The interesting part...
GD the vampire. We just need to get some gold working. She wakes up immediately.
That JD will definitely feel how hard the Zuginu can hit. Astronomical clock tower coming up.
Clock. Not without the L, okay, guys. That's for that's a French Denmark Chamber of Commerce, or World of Warcraft's mage ability, Cone of Cold.
As long as he manages to defend that, he will be in a pretty decent spot. But at the same time, you know, Myriad does have almost an age up, so he did not commit to feudal completely. He can poke a little bit, but he does not need to fully go all in and try to do some massive damage, because he will be aged up very, very soon as well. And if we look at their units, going into the castle, if they both upgrade, Myriad definitely has better units. Knights and archers versus spearmen and Zuginu long run, you definitely want to have knights.
Now, those knights are also going to be extra chunky, going for the Royal Institute. The problem is the gold. Now, Myriad, I believe, is almost running out of gold in his base as well, and we need to think about where he moves out to next. So he's going to need to go out to get the gold for these upgrades. Now, with 11 knights, you're in a pretty decent position. You're going to be able to get that veterancy. You might even be able to think about the next ones as well, but Myriad probably doesn't want to risk anyone's life just yet. He needs to be very, very careful, especially with still no military upgrades, and the Jugunu are getting +2 at this point.
Yeah, so he's getting a lot of units. We see Cat now going for some knights with crossbows, so he's just fully transitioned to gold units. And at this point, the game who runs out of food first. So obviously there's going to be gold issues for both players soon, but whoever runs out of gold first, if you're playing this kind of very active game on the map, running out of gold first means you have to go out on the map, not only for gold, but for food as well, which means that knights, horsemen, whatever, are going to have a field day and be able to harass everywhere, which does favor Myriad at this point. So Myriad is going to have a more mobile army, and Cat is going to have a more just stronger army and fighting straight up if these unit compositions continue.
I absolutely love the fact that Myriad's getting +1 attack instead of defense. It shows how committed he is to doing damage. I don't know if this is the smartest.
Ooh, Cat is already 10 vills ahead.
Choice in this case.
Yeah, Song Dynasty does not play around.
Food, so he will be going on berries. Now JD should have food, yep. And the reason he still has food is because he has consecration on his building, so he's actually using a lot less food than Cat is. And that's kind of the good side and the problem with China. You are dropping off more resources with the Imperial officials, but you're also eating a lot more food because of your town center producing faster. So
yeah, China gets hungry real quickly, bro.
He's kind of poking around. Maybe he's looking if there are some villagers going on those berries there. Ooh, that's a very nice pick-off. Picking off the first monk is actually very, I feel like, underrated. But that first monk doesn't get 1 relic, usually gets 2. So he basically delayed/denied 2 relics with that, and JD's...
She's a little bit aggressive, girl. Go back. Nope, he wanted her to, oh, you can see that face.
Oh my god, his face. He's like, what the hell?
Where did that happen?
What did you do there? Because the archers went back, and I think they were in same hotkey. That was very funny reaction. So
it happens to me too sometimes as well. You think you queued JD back, but you didn't. And then the moment you notice JD's in the enemy base, dying.
Wow, Cat's doing some walling on the bottom. I mean, this is like
Both
the
players
worst
in the castle
possible
age.
thing that can happen to you. You just got the boar, you don't have a tower, and 1 Lancer arrives and just not only denies that, but kills a lot of villagers. The knights are, oh my god, wake up, knight.
Nice.
Wrong way.
Myriad looking a little bit frustrated with himself there. You can see the face moving as things are happening. And that's the problem with these tournament settings. You're playing on a stage where a lot of people are cheering for you. A lot of people are sitting there watching you. The pressure is on, and you know that there's a very spicy boy about to come to your base. Now, that just means that there's all that pressure can easily let you make mistakes. So even though you're watching this at home, you're like, I'll never do that. Yes, you do. And we're all sitting there at the pressure of our own opponent, knowing Cat has lances. You now have to think about, where is he going to strike next?
Yeah, and so far, Cat is doing a lot better job raiding. I mean, Myriad has a lot of knights. He hasn't been super active with them. Sometimes you get in your own head and you're like, okay, well, I can't really raid anything. He has a Barbican, so I'm just going to chill back. And Cat is kind of using that to full...
Bro, the stream is stopping again. Hello.
Advantage there. Just if you look at the army difference now, they were somewhat equal earlier, and JD has not been brought back once again, by the way. So that consecration stacks, they're not going. So his economy advantage as far as that goes is not going up. The Lancers are back, and you can see Myriad shaking his head a little bit. Oof. He is not enjoying that, and
ooh, he lost 10. He's 20 villagers behind. Oh my god.
Are not being gathered by
Bro, I said Myriad would win. He's about to lose 3-0, man. I said he would win. He's the better player than Kat. And now he's about to lose, probably about to lose 3-0. That's tough.
He's gotten so many more villagers. He's picked off 9 by this point. So, in essence, this is just going to make it so hard for Myriad to get back in this. Myriad was the one who was going to raid. Myriad was the one who was going to need to keep Cat on his toes. But instead, Cat, he took out those kitty claws, and he is fighting no matter what, even on the map that Myriad chose.
Yeah, do we actually have royal bloodlines? Can we check that on the knights?
I think we just got a production nod there for
no, we do. That is.
So he does have them +1 range arm is now coming, and there is a lot of crossbows and a lot of Suginu. So he has a lot of archers, but
I mean, kills the scouts. That's nice.
Not enough against this army, and this is a position where he kind of has to do something. But I just don't think he has enough units. He will try, he will attempt. That JD, you can see she's running off to the side. She doesn't want to get one shot. And he will try to do some pressure. And Cat, oh my god, another raid just comes in. And that is...
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, he actually the one raiding. He's the one being raided and falling behind.
Fully to try and do something, but I just don't see it working out. JD goes down for the 3rd time, and that is not a fun time.
Myriad now showing us that the pressure has gotten to him. Controlling all of these types of units in one group is so difficult. With the Lancers raiding, Cat is playing to his cat-like reflexes, using that advantage of being so damn fast. Getting Lancers all around the map.
Myriad is getting some kills back.
Running everywhere, but
I don't know where.
Somehow we've missed it. Myriad killed a ton of villagers on that side.
But he's still 13 behind.
Well, villagers going down, I mean, pretty good. And now the economy does look like there's a big
but if he has discounts...
But with the consecration, it's not that big of a difference.
Oh, but he's on the front berries.
As you can see right there,
and the goal is being raided again. Cat is doing such a great job with those raids, man. Cat is doing such a great job with the raids, bro. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
There's 2 knights in the back though, and the granary is farming. They're snacking right now, 1 by 1. So he needs to do something here. JD levels up.
Cat is not realizing the knights in the farms. Yo, they cleaning everything. Heal, JD, heal, JD. 4th time JD goes down. Bro, Myriad looks like I'm playing, not Myriad. I'm the one that forgets to micro JD.
Have joined the party, and we can see them running forward. They're going to be dealing with these spears coming their way, but the knights don't mind the spears either.
Bro, the knights are tanking, and they are cheaper. I think Myriad with those raids really came back into the game. I love that.
Trying to equalize this villager count, and he did exactly what Cat did to him. He raided.
I really, I think right now Myriad is doing a very good job. Yeah, that's a lot of idle, and he killed 23 villagers. So we saw 12, and I think he mowed down the whole granary there. So he's doing a very good job. And right now, it's all about who can continue producing units. So both players need to attack the other one where the food is, because they're both struggling. You see 500 food per minute versus 800. And I would say what I really liked about Cat's play is all the raiding he did with knights, but you cannot continue fighting knights into knights with royal bloodlines. So I think he maybe needs to consider transitioning to something else. The crossbows are a great choice. Myriad JD should be back soonish. She is still gone, but I think she's going to res any moment if my timings are not super off. Still no +2 range armor and range attacks for Myriad, and that's because all the pressure that's been going on the map.
Now, those lancers do go down pretty quickly. The archers also starting to tickle them, but the villagers are out here on the map, and Cat is going to be able to punish and pick off whenever he wants. We see that Cat says, I know what I did earlier, and I know I can do it again, so I'm going to go and raid. And he's about to find more villagers. This is some of Myriad's last food. He's trying to run, get back from this. Some of these guys will escape, but we see the gold villagers also running for their lives. And again, Cat is just on top of Myriad everywhere.
Yeah, he's doing really good raids. He's just committing to this crossbow knight attack. He does have 3 relics. Myriad is right now taking back 1. This JD is also...
Bro, is it my internet or is their internet? Because the stream is stopping a lot. With only a couple of seconds. Good heal from JD, the knights holding. Are we live?
Running into a tower, that's what she just did there. So she will be going down for, I think, 5th or 6th
GG?
time, so not a lot of XP.
People saying GG?
If he wins this fight, I think there's just too much economy difference right now for Cat and the crossbows.
Oh, Myriad loses 3-0.
Calls it, and it will.
Bro, I was saying that Myriad could win. Damn it! Completely... my prediction was completely wrong.
Actually came here and he's like, I would like to fish.
Actually, one of their favorite food is fish.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
Fun
think
fact.
that's probably a favorite matchup for Cat, if that is the case. And Cat will later be playing against none other than my GOAT, Killardi.
Now, I saw
Killardi.
you and Killardi a
Killardi.
little bit there. Can you tell me what was happening there behind the scenes? These two boys were in cahoots looking at Age of Empires games. Do you want to give us some insight on what's cooking behind the scenes?
What's cooking? What's
Okay,
cooking?
let me give you a quick rundown. He told me mine work sucks and I shouldn't build it. French and JD are not that good. He was mentioning something that the size of his brain doesn't exist quite in AoE4. It's because he's old that it's kind of holding him back.
Yeah, I don't
he
know, I
says he
can see
sometimes
that.
plays and just like falls asleep during the game, so you kind of like, you know, when you're tired and you're driving and you...
That's why he doesn't like
that's-
night
that never happens to
civilization,
me. I'm
because he'll
always
chase and he'll just
hyped up
forget
driving. I
about
love
them.
driving.
About stuff.
Yeah,
So
okay.
he does that. Sometimes he takes a quick nap. We have people to keep him awake here, but
They're working overtime at the moment.
now what his plan is for the actual series, I don't know. I mean, I would assume you watch these games to see, you know, what can I do? What is his style?
He fell
But I think
asleep.
overall
No, he
his
fell
games
asleep
were pretty
watching the games.
straightforward. Like, I didn't see anything super like, oh, let me, you know, write that down. Let me take a note of that. He just played pretty standard pro scouting games, just fighting. So Killardi is a bit wild. I would say
Yes.
Myriad is more standard. Killardi is a bit wild, so you can definitely cook up something there with a...
Wait, Myriad is... I thought Myriad was already out of the tournament. Is he still... He's going to play...
Match.
Oh, let's
We
check the
have Cat
bracket.
Coming in hot with his cat-like reflexes, ready to give you guys the best interview of your day. Mr. Cat, take over the headset.
And I'm doing the interview. All right. So first question, I have a very important one. Since your ID is cat, what kind of cat are you?
Puma.
Are you a house cat?
Puma.
Are you a wild cat? Which
Puma.
wild cat? You're Puma? Okay. Are they good in water or no? Actually, don't know.
I have no idea.
You have no
Good
idea.
in
Okay.
snow.
Sorry?
Good in snow.
Okay. So, well, we don't have snow maps yet, but when that comes
Yet?
out, the meta will...
Yet! Beastie knows in the DLC there will be maps with snow. Maps with snow confirmed.
Had Byzantine versus Delhi. There was a lot of fighting. He didn't actually lose any villagers, but it was pretty straightforward. Did you feel pretty comfortable in that game? Were you worried at any point that it's kind of going to turn around? What did you think of longbows as well?
Yeah, I felt pretty confident in this matchup. I think if I just play like safe, like the later game goes, the better.
Oh,
for me.
yeah, because Killardi...
Maybe I didn't play perfect.
because Cagliari lost to Eng-Pt on the winners match. So they're gonna play like they did yesterday. Cagliari cut.
Save, and it worked.
Yeah. There's so many archers, and he microed his longbows quite well, but there was nothing for the elephants, and they kind of just tanked a lot of damage. Then the second game, we had HRE.
Fucking elephant, bro.
Were you expecting that he will do a spearman over?
I like this. I like the schedule on screen. Love it. Oh, wait, Demo Baltoon will be later today. Wait, they're gonna start a match at 10:30? That's crazy. Central Europe time. That's fucking crazy. Starting a match at 10:30. That's fucking crazy. It could start earlier, but if it starts at 10:30, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
No.
You don't like it? Not a mind work enjoyer?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
All right. And then the last game we had, we had JD versus China. Yeah, JD died quite a few times.
Yeah.
And at some points it kind of got close with the villager kills going all around, but I think the raids that you did were pretty good in general. Do you think JD in the current meta has its place and has its timings, or do you think it's more like
totally.
a pick to counter something else?
No, it's really
I
good.
think it's a very solid civ. Especially it's very good in late game. Yeah. So like against JT I always feel like pressured. I need to do stuff.
True,
Because,
it's
like,
true, it's true.
If I go 1 hour game, I'm fully dead. Like
Okay, so you're actually more scared of JD in the long games. Okay. Well, that's it for the question for the series. Regarding your next series, it will be against Cagliari. How do you feel about that one? How do the games go between you guys? Are you confident? Are you worried?
I feel excited. I always like playing against Cagliari. It's always like tough match, tough set. We go like fight. Sometimes I win, sometimes he wins, but it's always fun. And we're gonna see today whose day it is.
Okay, so last question for you. Is this your first LAN, or did you go before?
Like big one, kind of first, but I played some games in Moscow in CS1. But this feels very different, to be honest.
Okay,
like,
are
way
you
more production, way more people?
Yeah, are you feeling nervous when you play like on stage, or are you kind of over that and you don't mind it?
I'm kind of surprised. It's not that bad as I thought to play on stage. Like,
yeah.
I'm feeling okay on the stage.
Yeah, that's good, because a lot of players, I think, when they play, they kind of get nervous. You don't play your own game, so.
Usually, when I play not on my computer, I'm fully tilted. I can't play if I have like something not good.
Yeah.
But here it feels like alright. Kinda nervous, kinda like strange, but it's okay.
All right, so we'll be seeing you later against Cagliari. Best of luck. The next match, if I'm not mistaken, will be Demu versus Baltoon.
Thank you.
Good luck in your next match, and we'll be seeing that one next. I'm excited to see who's going to come out on top. They already played, so who knows what the result will be and what they have planned.
Okay, break time. Okay, next, Demo Baltoon. I think that's going to be a great set. But I was really not expecting Cagliari to lose 3-0. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting Cagliari to win, actually. But he was destroyed, bro. Demolished. I was really expecting him to come ahead. Let's go, guys. Waiting for the next set. Let's go. Let's go. Next set is gonna be good, I think. Let's go, guys. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Waiting for the next set. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Let's get it, let's get it. Come on. Come on, guys. Too long. Losing viewers like this. Bruh, you're taking too much time to come back. Let's go, guys. Waiting for the next set. Waiting a little bit. There we go. We back. We back. We so back. Come on, come on. No, we're not back, guys. We're not back.
Hello, I'm Benjamin Baker, AOE4 player, Team Liquid.
Double voice!
My gaming history started off in 2005.
Double voice, no!
Playing Warcraft 3 just online, playing 2v2s and stuff with a bunch of friends, and one guy asked me if I want to play in a UK-only tournament, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Ended up winning it, and then I won a trip to Singapore, and I was like, what, you can win money for this? So that was 20 years ago, pretty much. And the way I discovered AOE4, I was playing StarCraft 2, and I decided, I want to try this game out. I want to see what it is. You know, I wasn't like big on the hype or anything about it, but as soon as I started playing it, it just felt so nice and refreshing to learn a new RTS, and I've been stuck with it ever since. I gotta say, winning the first Steel Series tournament was absolutely mind-blowing for me. I went in as not even a top 32 contestant kind of thing, and it was a 512 player bracket. I ended up beating Marine Lord in the top 8, who was one of the big dogs. Got to the semis, and I was like running down to my family at the time, like, I'm in the final. And once I made the final, it went to the very last map. Like this, I was so new that I didn't even play all the civs, and I ended up winning against Vortex and took home $5,000. And then my eyes were open, got to join Team Liquid, and yeah, the rest is history. Civ-wise, within regards to what I really like to play, I mean, I'd be a bit of a plonker if I didn't say English. I've always felt that longbows fit my style. It's very like Marine Medic from StarCraft / Rifle Caster from Warcraft 3, which I love both of those. I've also always liked Hatery, Japan, and I do like the Chinas as well. I think my least favorite genre, just because of the hero aspect, like I came from Warcraft 3 a long time ago, and I feel that they did heroes superb. So anything that isn't up to that, yeah, I think it missed the mark a little bit, but it's definitely got better over time. Oh, favorite unit. It's got to be the Shaolin Monk.
The Shaolin...
So when I've played in 2v2
the Shaolin Monk.
I've been most successful with Beastie, I'd say. Like, I feel that we're both calm, pretty calculated. The bits that I don't like, such as the walling, he does it for me. And I'm pretty damn aggressive and also like fairly cerebral in thought, so coming up with strategies and stuff with him is very easy, but also it's kind of like a band-aid on some of the things that I don't like to do. Players that I've also played with, like Marine Lord, he's such a baboon. Like, that boy does not listen. He does not listen. Playing Marine Lord or Beastie or any one of the top 8 guys, it is tricky because mistakes are far fewer. If I play against who do I throw under the bus? Like a Vlad. If I lose a little bit of time here, it's like I know I can get back. Against those guys, it's like you can't really afford to do that. But also, they all have different strengths. Beastie's very good at, if he's behind, he'll slow down the game. So then the speed of it doesn't really matter as much. That's definitely one of his strengths. Marine Lord's just very good all round, very quick. So playing against those guys, it is tough, but you just have to rely on yourself. There's some guys that you might have to throw a bit more of a curveball against. Some guys you might have to be more raid-centric, knowing that raids are going to come when they're behind, such as a Beastie. So it's just about knowing your opponent a little bit and working against them. If Killjardy and I do make it out of the group, I'd love to smack him around a bit. My queen, you know, to my king. So I always make fun of him. We're sharing a room as well, so that'd be really funny. I'd get to, like, if I know I'm playing him the next day, I get to poke him a little bit, like stop him from sleeping. But I'd like to play Killjardy. I like playing Baltoon. Beastie's very annoying, but I'm very, very looking forward to playing Louis on LAN, just because no lag. Like it's so difficult to play against Louis on LAN. I know it's fun, but
Yeah.
on the India server, oh, it's dreadful. Advice to newer players. I guess one thing that I very often see with newer players, if they're having a fight, they very much over-focus on the fight / tunnel vision.
I see.
Like resources building up, if there's the idle Vil icon, and it's like, those things are way more important than the fight. So like, very often top players, you'll see them looking away, building while the fight's going on. There's only so much you can do. As long as you've got the basics, like, okay, I needed to get rid of that mango. Sort out the macro. Like, this is a RTS.
The macro.
It's macro first, micro second.
Yeah.
Anything to say to the A4 community? I would say thank you very much for supporting me. It's always a pleasure playing for you guys. I know I've been a little bit ill and a bit topsy-turvy with results recently, but I hope to do you guys proud. And big shout out to Team Liquid, of course.
Nice. There you go.
To the next game.
Hello.
For this one, I will be Myriad. Myriad is going to be joining us for the second cast, but for now, you guys are stuck with me. And after listening to that amazing interview by Mr. Demu, I hope you guys are fired up. I did feel bad for poor Vault that he threw under the bus there.
Everyone's throwing Vault under the bus today, and it's not nice, people. Please stop it.
This is still in Killjardy. We know that if Killjardy gets to that point, then he definitely is gonna have a Demu vengeful moment. But
Okay, who's gonna take Killjardy's place in Demu's room tonight and poke Demu all night long?
oof, that is gonna be a tough cuddle, isn't it?
I'm still so weirded out because usually there's this tension when Myriad's standing next to me. I always feel like, oh. But no, it's just gone.
No, it's just gone. It's me. I'm here. Okay, well, Myriad is going to be here with his wonderful, deep British accent, and you guys are going to be blessed with it pretty soon. But until then, you'll have to deal with the fake South African one on the cast instead.
You can always do the Marine Lord one.
Okay,
It always works.
But we can see with the decider match today, we have many civilizations, and I don't think any of these players can play anyway. So why did I even pick civilizations if Beastie QT is only going to win this land because I am not here? So yes, what do you think
She's
about this
imitating
draft,
Marine Lord,
Mr.
okay.
Escalate?
I mean, I'm looking already at the first map because they already spoiled it for it. It's, right.
It's right there. Oh my god, wait. Is that a donation bar as well? Remember, guys. Remember, you're supporting the lad, and we have our player updates there. Demo not 3-0ing Baltoon yet. The score will follow. Hold up. No predictions yet. Twitch chat, this is on you. Go predict in the chat. You win absolutely nothing, but a lot of clout. And
Baltoon took a game yesterday.
Yes. And is it going to be the reverse sweep? A lot of people say when you win that first set, they come for you the second one. So we'll see if Demu and Baltoon will repeat history with every single time the reverse happens. Demu needs to be on his A game here, and that
There you go. Baltoon versus Demu is now online after
coming out from Mr. Demu. So
30 minutes of... No, it wasn't 30 minutes, but it was a long time between sets. Let's go. I almost fell asleep, guys. Let's wake up. Oof.
Curveball he likes to throw. Now, it's not exactly super big news that HRE likes to burn Mali and pit mines, but Baltoon's gonna be happy about his spawn right there with the pit mine. Also
goal in the
blocking
back.
off the access,
Perfect.
And then he has the gold all the way in the back. but also has all the gold in the same direction. So that's going to be a tough one for him. He needs to hold that. It's always a little bit of a double-edged sword for people if you have all your resources in one place. Only one space to defend, and only one space that your opponent has to take.
The problem, I think, here for Demo is we saw that scout, and that scout was pretty barren. Demo needs to go back, he needs to go deliver those sheep, and he's not going to have a lot of those. So those 4 spearmen that he invested in, that's going to be expensive. Now, those 4 spears heading directly for the pit mine, and like you just said, that thing's at the back. It is a pretty good spawn for all the Malians out there, ladies and gentlemen. You want to have your gold at the back when you are dealing with this Dark Age shenanigans coming your way.
Spear arrives, but the tower is almost up, and it will cover all of this right now. So that's a nice position for Boltune. Should have put that one house a little bit further out so you can fit the mining camp right next to the tower, but this is fine. This is good. It will idle out Villager, however, as long as he has to garrison them.
Now, that's pretty interesting for me, the fact that he's building the mill right there too. I feel like he's trying to get as much work out of this villager as possible because he knows that there is going to be some idle. Look at that food, though. Now, what I want to point out is, yes, he doesn't have the mining camp right there. And yes, not optimal, but it's okay. Malians
Bro,
is in a
3
position
spearmen.
right now where Malians
4 spearmen,
don't
actually.
necessarily go
Big
for
investment
gold that early. The
for
passive
Demo.
gold that they get from the pit mines, it's pretty
And it's almost aging up
but
as well.
considering, like you said
Very good
earlier,
HRE gameplay.
we have both the other gold mines in the same direction.
Shit, guys, sorry
so
about that.
if Demo can secure this side, it's going to be really, really tough for Boltune to actually get there. And putting the mill there, we see now what that big brain of Boltune has been cooking. He just wants to make sure he gets the least amount of idle time with the most amount of damage, while ensuring those vills are steadily at work. Mansa Quarry only, I was going to say only with 3, but no, the man is not cooking anything too crazy today. He is going to age up with 5.
Demo is just being a pest here. He moves in every time he puts on the more HP spearmen in the front, just so he doesn't get taken out. And that house will eventually catch fire and then cause even more idle time, unless Boltune now pulls a vill to prevent
good repairing.
that and just
Good
fill it up.
repairing.
But that's even more idle time. And behind that, look at Demo's resources. Mine work is coming this time around.
And this is what Beastie was talking about in the last cast. He said, let's get a little bit more mine work in this game. Demo he
Might
took
not
the note
work, though.
and he's like, hey,
Mine work palace, might not
listening,
work palace.
sirs, and he's following suit. Now, what I want to point out to you guys, that little bit of repair time from the villager is not just about the idle time, but Malians is so sensitive to losing their wood early on. When you are playing Malians, you have only a little bit of wood to invest because you go for all those straggler trees and you get quite a bit of them from the get-go, so it does become a little bit iffy when you need to waste a little bit of wood trying to repair that
Not
house.
waste,
So
use.
idle time plus the reparation costs is definitely not going to be a fun time for Boltune. But now we'll see what Demo does with that palace and 2 prelates at that. I was actually asking that exact question. Do you just get that extra prelate to inspire? Because, you know, the might work is now not going to give you the chapelle, but you are able to inspire your villagers anyway, making them work even harder, faster, longer, and stronger, and more resources. Very nice. All of the
And
above.
naturally, we have those 4 hurt spears. He could just pull them back and heal them back up, but for now, he just wants to be more annoying. And this time, one of the houses might just be out of range without an arrow slit in there. Yes, so they
2
are.
of them, actually.
We do see the archery range coming up as a reaction to this, but that one house might not be saved in time. Boltune choosing to not swap around his quarry to get that arrow slit emplacement on the tower. Instead, we see the archery range coming up. There is no stable right now, but we still see professional scouts on the way.
I want you guys to notice, I don't know if you guys saw Boltune's face, but he forgot professional scouts. You could see it in his face. He was
that's
like,
tough.
oh, and you could see the resources was a little bit over. So this professional scouts, it was delayed. And Demo, honestly, he is not waiting for the professional scout game. This man is going straight for the aggression. Ladies and gentlemen, take out your books. We are going to be learning how to do HRE and feudal. No more castle required.
Good times. Now, with the Minework Palace, we get special techs, we get cheaper blacksmith upgrades, and also we don't have to invest in a blacksmith, so that's nice. But
That's
look at that.
always nice.
Already archers on the field, we see extra spears being
Yeah,
added.
Demo is playing this one really well.
Just stay on the
Boltune
infantry
opening
comp, and
with
Boltune is just gonna go
Javelin
straight
on
into
the
the
flowers.
javelin which of course they do cost quite a bit of gold. It does delay the Malian cow boom, it does delay all of the upgrades.
And now with him going for pro scouts, the problem is I want you guys to look at the deer spawns. Demu doesn't just get control of the golds, he also gets control of every single deer by making sure that he has his presence on that side. Him retreating now does open a little bit of a space for Baltoon to try and get a few deer, but that investment is so big if you consider the fact that you're now just going to be able to get maybe one pack of deer in all of it.
Yeah, Baltoon would love to draw some walls right straight through the woodlines into the sides, just encasing that entire corner there for himself, but Demo's not gonna let him. He knows this position is amazing. If he can hold this space, he will be just fine.
Now, Baltoon is getting as much value as he can with these. You know, we can see even try to go for that second pit mine, but running into a party here at his base. And remember what we talked about a little bit earlier, Twitch chat. We talked about the fact that people stop scouting currently in this meta because you're pro scouting. So you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go pick up deer. That's where the most value from my scouts are gonna go. So Baltoon may have been very ignorant about what's coming. That scout getting very, very low. And HRE, he doesn't mind chasing these guys down.
Yeah. The faster archers here will be able to catch up. Not even needed. Spear melee charge is just enough. And Demo's just gonna keep on massing up. Baltoon on 5 javelin throwers now. But as I said, these guys pretty pricey. And he can only queue them one by one. Only has the 1 archery range, but he's already going into the cow boom.
Now, he knows this is a limited edition amount of gold that he has. This gold is going to be pressured off of it. He needs to capitalize on what he can now. A lot of villages in gold. Seeing 7 this early from Malians is out of the question, usually. You do not get that much, especially this early on in the game. He's focusing on getting those javelins out. They have amazing base damage. They're going to deal with most of these archers. And spearmen, they do okay against, but you want to make sure that you get as much high-value units out while you can. That's why he's queuing them up and he's getting cows, as is going on. 2 cows currently in the camps. Now, that's not the amount of cows we're hoping for, but it is what he can afford right now. So he's doing as much as he can. We see those pro scouts trying to scout a little bit, picking up some deer.
He's sneaking one away from Demo. I do enjoy that play. We'll see if he realizes what's going on in the back of his base there. But what we also see is an immediate ram push. We have 7 defending units. We've got 27 attackers.
And the problem is that blacksmith is very far forward now as well.
27 attackers
+1 range
versus
defense
8
to make sure that he
javelin
doesn't
throwers.
die to the archer
It's
numbers.
not looking
because that is
good.
16 archers, that is a lot. Those villagers are going to be pulled back from that gold pretty soon when he sees those archers coming into range. The javelins are going to try to target fire as much as they can without them firing back. Villagers now pulling back as well. Tower has been upgraded, so it's going to help a little bit, but these units feel very cocky and they're diving quite a bit.
Baltoon just has to go in, poke, and then retreat every single time, because these archers, they do have higher damage in a sustained fight. So all he has to do is step out, burst one down, step back in. Unless Demo does him the favor of just standing right under there. But 2 houses are already gone. Hitmine itself is now being threatened, and that ram still is almost full HP.
Now, these spearmen of just allowing
Javelin throwers are hanging on though,
greedy because they do absorb the shots quite well, and this means that Baltoon needs to spend some energy on actioning, selecting those units, trying to kill. Now the archer numbers aren't that great right now, but the javelins are in range, so the archers are going to be able to fire down. Archers can refocus onto villages as well, and that's exactly what they do. They get only 1 single victim, but these javelin throws are expensive and they're standing so far forward.
But just barely can no longer one-shot. That's so painful for him now. But same thing for Demo, and he realizes does not want to trade away all of his archers. Yes, as we see another yoink.
And it's not just about yoinking and putting them in the base. We see a little dead deer there in the far corner as well. That man is just moving the deer out of prime position. The cheeky boy he is. Baltoon, not just the master of the scouts, at that, but also the master of getting the deer out of range. Very nice. Master of shenanigans.
I was gonna say, I was a little bit surprised about the early cows, but now they're really paying off. Already 6 units there in the cattle ranches producing free food for him. So this eco count is a little bit misleading, and we do get a free ram right there. A little bit too slow. Baltoon moving out on the map, that is very scary, because Demu heading in his own horsemen, and I don't know if Bolchen has seen them.
And the problem is not just about the fact that there's going to be a horseman in the mix. There's a lot of horsemen in the mix. And when those horsemen get on top of your units, it's so hard to peel them off. Now, Baltoon, let's see if he takes the bait. In these guys moving in slowly. The scout is aware of these horsemen, but with those amount of javelin throws, you can handle them pretty well. Plus one upgrade about to kick in. I think it's going to be a little bit late. He pulls back. He doesn't want to go too far out. Scout, don't have vision on that man just yet. Don't know if his eyes have been exposed. Oh, they are out and about on the ground, and the army is moving forward. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very fast army from HRE. They do have that extra movement speed, so these Javies, they need to be a little bit more careful. Donzo's now being put in the mix to ensure that he doesn't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, Bolchen wants nothing to do with that army right now. He needs to pull back. We do see the Donzos coming in, but Demu already stopped making horsemen. Made 5 and then stopped. Nice play by him. Bolchen getting the upgrade in, and all of Bolchen's scouts actually died at some point, so he was not pro-scouting through all of that. Instead, we got 10 cows already. I'm not sure if Demo is aware of that. I don't think so. I think he'll just expect to see all of the deer gone, and now he's here and is like, where are all the scouts? Why is he not using them? But we do have some nice connections, and still only one villager down. I'll say only, but the wood line is exposed, and Demo is just moving in. There's the first victim. There's another one, and we've got 4 down total.
Yeah, but the problem is those javelins are so good at hitting like a truck. Demo is feigning aggression. He's trying to show Boltoon, hey, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to keep pushing, but behind this, the man is cooking castle, and I don't know if Boltoon is going to be ready for what he's serving, because look at those amount of prelates. He is going to get those guys into the perfect position once he starts, and he's going to get the age up alongside a bunch of relics as well. Now with this horseman though, he needs to be careful because every single time
let's go. Then we're going to the castle age. Roll HRE gameplay.
With those numbers that Boltoon has, he's actually able to one-tap most units coming his way.
Yeah, Bolchen must be strong because he does not see Demo's army increase that much in size. But is he actually fine with that? Of course, he's probably not aware. He's probably not aware that Demu already on 3 prelates out and about. He doesn't have a vision on the Ragnets.
Demu under control.
Still not move out fully. Not
of the match. He's vibing.
We've got 12 cows. We get the horticulture now. Bolchen is setting up for his own castle age.
Now Boltoon setting up for the castle age with 12 cows. That feels pretty good. Because you know, 17, girl!
Well, someone's not updating the counter.
I wonder if that is...
Oh my god, I'm just gonna see myself.
It's okay, it's okay. The counter is updated. The
counter! Because it's counting the cows, so counter! Good job, good job. That joke though, coming from
Wemmen. A lot
women.
of damage on this army, and Demo needs to find a way to replace them. He goes for crossbows alongside this. And
Mom joke, yeah.
Crossbows are, they don't do too well against javelins, and I don't see any armored units coming out of Mr. Baltoon there.
There's no sofas at all. Sofas being the only armored Malian.
No sofas. Where are they sitting?
Those against. Maybe he'll still go back into archers. Usually,
Sofas a unit from the Malians.
Is great. Spears do decently.
And they said no sofa.
Here and there, and you do want a sort of frontline in your own armored units, as long as there are not too many Musafaris.
Now, I just want
I'm proud of myself for that one.
We heard before that with
Baltoon doing castle as well, chilling, vibing.
Run over Malians, but now.
There's a relic for Demo, is on the bull, pumping the bull,
and very beastie spawn position
Grand
as well.
Corral.
And he's just taking over the
what was that?
type of pushing. That's
because of the strances?
So honestly, Baltoon doing an amazing job,
Banhaka?
being at a little bit of a disadvantage quite early on, especially with Demo making those sneaky shenanigans moves as he's going forward. But what I really want to see is how is Demo going to sustain this food? We did see a tower there that got a little bit reinforced to make sure it's got some safe food there as well. But back at the base, there's only a handful of farms. Those are just normal farms. Those are not the HRE farms that we care about and complain about and make Reddit posts about.
They used to be inspired. I'll give him that. They used to be inspired, but right now his old men are busy picking up heavy furniture.
Those relics are going to look lovely in his base, especially paired with a wonderful emplacement every spot in the base. We know a good HRE base looks amazing when you give it time, but now the age up has come through and we're about to see that food counter skyrocket.
So there's 30 seconds until those upgrades hit, but these 30 seconds are very long indeed for Boltune because Demu just picked up all 5 relics and is moving them across the map. This is looking real grim for him now, and this is why we say that HRE just runs over Malians because the timing's just not there to stop them.
Now the problem for Malians is they need to find an answer quickly. Like you said, they don't have anything to stop them, but I feel like Baltoon, he has this opening now. You do see
Baltoon is a lot of jab throwers though.
It was at 700, now over 1,000. This could be largely to those cows just generating wonderful amounts of income back in the base, and the upgrades are about to kick in, plus 2 range damage. Wheelbarrow, I know it's just a random one, but
wheelbarrow, yeah.
Extra fast.
Let's go.
Them. But all the units as well, these things are going to get hit or going to be hitting so hard. And Demu is still investing in a lot of archers. Now, you usually do this when you're playing against a very heavy Musafadi army, and that's exactly what Baltoon is making. This allows you to respond and be able to make those armored units that the Musafadis are so good at dealing with.
Baltoon, meanwhile, setting up 3 pit mines behind is just trying to catch up in some way, but the 5 relics in the Ragnits is a scary, scary play. We'll see if
it's basically 10 relics.
Option, just going straight to Imperial here, or if he's actually just gonna we see extra minework upgrades with the Super Knights.
Still barding, always looking great.
Coming in with some juicy armor for them. It turns them into monsters for tanking. And Demu's just moving out. His army is massive. He's going to be moving faster, but Boltune not too far off in the army count.
The problem is the army count may look even, but it's not even. You can see in the army value, technically, it looks a little bit off here, but those are knights, and those are very, very tanky knights pretty soon. They do take a lot of damage. The Donzos going right through the Musafadis, making quick work of them as well. And with the Javelins, they do have to start target firing these archers because the archers are just in such a big mass that they're going to be able to take care of things even if they just aim move. And those Javelins are not doing too well against them right now.
It's very hard to micro this if you're Boltune right now, if you're any Malian player, because every time you have to move your entire army back, all of your shift-queued attack moves, because you want to split up your Javelin.
Okay, nice fight for Demu.
Because 6 of them will be able to just one-shot, everything else is overkill. Will just be reset, and it's so tedious to do.
And look at that knight count from Demu. Those knights now reinforced, now extra spicy.
And Demu can still go into Inspired Warriors, right?
Deciding to switch it up with a different type of unit coming our way. We do hear them coming out of those stables. Know who's clonking against the ground, but they're not going to do that well against Minework Knights. Minework Knights are just made of the best armor in all of the dynasties, in all of the kingdoms. These guys are going to be ready for a fight. Look at them, beautifully running back to base. But now the thing is, Demu's base is starting to open up. Even though it opens up, we have 5 relics, right? We get to make towers, we get to put them in there, reinforce those boys, and then we are not worried about anything that Malian has on offer.
The sprinkled emplacements are already set up. We've got one more fortification going in there, and Demu with the increased view range, he sees the sofa that is riding with the army. Though some on the core bottom side just want to go through. Okay, they are revealed as they step on the sacred side.
Tell Momo, what's wrong?
Purple friends.
Now that purple friend is going to be going back home, but his bodyguards have something to say about this. The thing is, there's only 7 of these bodyguards, as I call them.
Oh, the Donzo's gonna get the snack.
Pretty good damage, and 4 legs. They're outrunning everything. The 2 of them
a little
go
late
down.
on pulling back there. Loses 3 knights basically for free. A little bit of it on the rough side there. That's a big blow to his army count, but there's more where that came from. And is Demu reacting in any way, shape, or form in the form of his composition? Yeah, we do see some crossbows being added now.
Now, what I want you guys to look at is the food per minute. Demu has depleted those outside resources. I say depleted, but he's going for the berries right in front of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, those berries are going to sustain him for another while longer. But what then? And Baltimore is just going to be able to keep on producing.
Yeah, Boltune's set up, where I do wonder how many farms we'll see now in the HRE base. I see some in the back there, but not a whole lot. Close to 700 food per minute.
Mas querem sair, querem passear.
If he can get those towers down in time, because they will be outside of auto
O meu filho estava a tentar abrir a porta, mas não estava a conseguir.
Potentially sneak away relics, but it's a tall order right now. Army numbers are very equal, and yeah, he can't really take a fight under that relic top Springer Tower.
I want you guys to know that those 3 archers who are gonna have poison arrows, they're gonna be the best archer the army has ever seen, but they need some time to get there. The Sofas are trying to extend. The crossbows are ready for it though, and the Donzos, it feels like they're taking a lot of damage for what they can do right now.
Yeah, you do see that Voltune wants to avoid getting hit with the crossbows on his Sofa, but he also wants to avoid getting hit with the archers on his Donzos. So it's a little rough right now. And Demu's just standing there shooting. Voltune losing a lot of his military in this fight, and the Minework Knights, they're still up, still going. All the Donzos are dead.
Now, Demu having these very, very nice units. He's having a good time. He might feel confident in this, but keep in mind, guys, there's a little bit of a timer with the field. I feel like because of the relics, he's still fine. He's got the sacred sites as well. Now pulled off of gold completely, and we see
Demu with so many units, 33 archers.
All those relics, the sacred sites. This man,
the knights, the extra armor. The speedrun too, right? With all pikes, they do more damage.
Don't see when you have 68 villages.
So also nice upgrades for the speedman.
41 on food is scary, and we do see he's on 1900 food almost. He's gonna push in now. Voltune adding a second Hound Center sometime in the last 2-3 minutes, and it's not gonna be long for this world because he'll not be able to hold that. Demu pushing in with 34 archers, 11 crossbows there, and he still has the knight front line.
Oh, but the knights can't really reach on the scope on the choke point.
The units out of Demu, they do not care that much. We can see there's a few Knights can take a good hunt,
she's still here.
but Voltune is just not able to produce enough units to take this down. He's got Sofas in the queue, he's got Rusafadis, but those archers are just burning through them. We see a knight in the villager line as well, just eating everything.
Oh, true, that's GG.
He's having a great time.
GG, there we go, guys. I go to the bathroom, I'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, 5 relic archery right there. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Now, this feels great for Demu. He just did quite a bit of damage to the man. But again, this is an unfavorable matchup as far as I'm aware for Voltune. He made it look good. He made it look like it was not. It made it look like he's ready for this. He doesn't care what the matchup is. He's going to put up a good show, and he's going to make it look like Demu is going to work for this. And I'm glad about that. I want to see Voltune make Demu sweat. That big bald head of his, we're going to be seeing the sweat drip from it as Voltune is going to make sure the work is done. But ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of handing over to the best British-speaking but Hungarian man in the lands. Myriad is here to take control of the voice. Myriad, take it away, sir.
Everyone, greet my newest co-caster here. I do love my new women. Oh, I missed that.
Good to be here. Hello, everyone.
Good to be here. That's nice to hear. I saw you taking a little bit of time there after your last match. It was a rough series, but let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about the rough series that Voltune just had going on. Would you say it was a straight-up draft loss? What do you think he expected on Coastal Cliffs? Was this the matchup that he was running into anyway?
I'd have to see the drafts again to comment for certain, but I mean, Malian's HRE, it is one of those matchups that's just very difficult from the get-go. The issue is, on Coastal Cliffs, there is a chance that the gold spawns in the back, which it did in this case for Malians, in which case it's a bit more manageable. Now, Voltune opted for the tower for the defense instead of going for his own Dark Age barracks and going for Donzos to defend, which, you know, is sort of a stylistic choice as to which is better. Some people think Donzos are better, some people think the tower's better, but they both have their strengths and weaknesses. But the real issue is, once you get to feudal, right? I mean, the problem is the HRE can just pump so much with that Archon, and it's very difficult for Malians to keep up. The Malians have so much to do. I mean, they need to get their cows, they might have to get pro scouts as well if they so choose. On top of it, they need the upgrades, they need the pit mine. All of this leaves them very, very exposed, and in that early game, when HRE does have that mass advantage in terms of army, you know, one slip up here and there can be catastrophic, really, in the long run.
Yeah, I usually see the attempt more into more army and more contesting on the deer, but this time Bolchin just went straight for the cow boom. I like the approach, but Demo still got 5 relics. Like, we've seen that before quite a bit in that matchup.
Yeah, and we know once HRE has 5 relics with Regnitz, it's very, very difficult to lose in that position. I mean, the income just becomes, you know, monumental, really. I mean, what can you really do in that position? There's, you know, a world where it's winnable, but not in this matchup, frankly. But speaking of matchups, we have our next one, and it is going to be OTD for Boltun against Demu's Mongols on Himeyama.
Okay, let me pick your brain on this. OTD, I mean, you just play feudal, you have a little bit of fun. But can Mongols stop you from picking up deer? Can Mongols stop you from having that insane food income and you just run away with the game with your stronger units?
I think Mongol can certainly stop the deer. The thing is here, right? I'm quite curious about the Dark Age because, sure, OTD has the Gilded Spearman, which is definitely no slouch in the Dark Age, but the issue comes with the Stone and Uvu economy, right? If Mongols just keeps producing spears, the reality is they will overpower the Gilded Spearman, even if you go up to 2, 3, 4. If the Mongol keeps producing and double producing at that, which they should, they will eventually overwhelm that Dark Age and they can eventually get the tower up on the gold if they so choose. Of course, it takes a big, big investment, but even just pushing off of gold would be enough. And, you know, with no gold, there's no pros cards. With no pros cards, there's no food. And then it becomes quite difficult for OTD indeed.
We do see the eyes already moving. These guys must already be starting loading into the game. And here we are, boys. Let's actually do the hype introduction that my lovely co-caster Bart usually does. We've got our purple player. We've got Demu, the man, the might. He has the most experience here. He's playing our Mongols. And in the southern spawn, we've got our red player. And he is Boltun. We've seen him earlier in the day. He is insane on most of those civs. We'll see if he can make that Dark Age barracks work here and if Demo will have one of his own.
Speaking of Dark Age barracks, we already have something being built on the Uvu. I do suspect it is in fact a barracks, as the distance is quite drastic for it to be a pasture, and indeed it is. So this is exactly what we expected, right?
I do have to ask you, do you move your villager out to the Uvu and build the barracks there, or do you build the barracks next to your TC and drive it out? Is the timing better if you have the barracks up like a few seconds earlier, or do you want that villager working more?
So this is another one of those interesting choices that you have to make. With a distance like that, it is absolutely quicker on the spearman timing if you move the villager there to build the barracks, but of course that does result in more non-gathering time for the villager. So it depends whether you prefer the faster spearman timing or, you know, the further efficiency on the gathering. It's just one of those stylistic choices, right? Now, Boltun doing something a bit interesting here. He's actually moving across the map with the first spearman, which I find particularly greedy and risky here, because if those two spears that are double produced from Demu do find that spearman, especially with the Khan poking away at it, that is a fight that the two spearmen will in fact win. We see the Ger now pushing away the deer just a bit, yeah.
This is a nice attempt here. He's just gonna poke the deer as long as Demu's spears have not arrived. And yeah, with the Ger pushing the deer, Demu's gonna find this particularly annoying. But yeah, now, as you said, Bolchin's spear needs to run. He's all the way out there, all alone. And these guys, they will eventually catch up with the melee charge and the Khan's arrow in tow.
Very interesting move here by Boltun, I must say. Distracting the spears in order to kill some of those deer, drawing them towards the top side of the map, and Boltun taking this opportunity to gather up all the gold he needs for the age up and not need to invest any further in this Dark Age, because he knows, right, Boltun's a very, very good player. He understands that he can't stay in this Dark Age forever. He could keep producing spears, but there is a limit to how much we can get away with. Yeah, we saw just there, he put another one in queue, but he did decide to cancel it as he is going to get the gold he needs to age up, and yeah, Boltun wisely here is going to stick to the one spearman. It bought him the space he needed to actually get the gold necessary to age up here, and it's going to be the mine work, not too surprising here, especially with a spawn like this on Himeyama. There's not very fruitful wood lines on Himeyama, so mine work does tend to be the choice generally here. But the issue now for Boltun is going to be how exactly is he going to stop a tower here, if at all.
maybe he was judging it just because he only saw the 2 spears. Yeah, maybe one's enough. If there's only 2 spears coming out, I'll be fine just standing here and getting enough gold for pro scouts. But this is not the case. His spear goes down, and now he's gonna have to pull back. Khan also shooting the mining camp, so it cannot be deleted. So Demo's gonna.
Hi everybody, we are back. Game number 2 between Demo and Baltoon.
Quite unlikely
Let's get it. Valdemar was already eliminated from the tournament by Baltoon. Myriad was already eliminated from the tournament by
We have
Cut.
seen now recently, due to the pro scout, due to the food.
No, Myriad was eliminated by Cut. Yeah. Kiliardi will play with Cut after this set. Instead, then we still have Louis playing and BC playing too. They have a lot of games for today. They should have made the
I must say, Asklad, it has proved
things a bit earlier.
situations.
I think they have a lot of games in one day.
Have seen the mold about
Better for us, you know what I'm saying? I'm just for the players, perhaps it's too much.
We'll see. Maybe it's gonna make an appearance right now.
Cheers, everybody.
Running
Cheers,
around,
cheers,
sees the
cheers.
mine work. As you said, no surprise there. Tower is up on the gold, so we'll not be seeing any pro scouting anytime soon. Still needs 160 more, and Deerstone's almost up. What do you think? If you're the Order
of the Dragon
situation, how do you get rid of the
versus
tower? Do you need to get
Mongols.
rid of the tower?
No, there is
Tough,
Tower
right?
Rush.
I mean, how exactly would you get rid of the tower in Feudal? You can't really afford seed engineering. There's only 110 gold in the bank. Men-at-Arms cost gold. You can't build too many of them. Spears, you know, even though they are gilded, they are vulnerable to arrow fire from the tower. You don't really have an effective way to get rid of it. Sure, you could go for textiles and use your stronger, tankier villagers to take it down, but that's definitely going to hurt. If you don't lose any, then you'll certainly lose a lot of resources in terms of idle time. But Baltoon does in fact have a very nice and cozy back gold there, protected by wood lines to the north and to the south, and that is indeed what he will opt for here. Tower going up, not wasting any time in doing so. Mining camp now on the way as well. Whereas for Demo, he is looking to not opt for pro scouts in this game. Instead, we have wheelbarrow on the way and arrow slit upgrade on the tower as well. And look at this, very, very cheeky from Demo. He's going to throw up another tower into this wood line. However, the length of the wood line is
Yeah, that wood line is very weird.
So it will be quite a while before those villagers get in range of that tower.
Yeah, he's still gonna have a lot of time to get more wood in, doesn't need to move as early. We also see the arrow defense real quick, because it's so much cheaper from the mine work, because he's expecting those archers to come in. I don't think he actually scouted them, so this is a blind read. We do also see there is a there's a steel arrow on the way. So yeah, Baltoon's gonna go into a heavy range composition. We have 1 man-at-arms on the field. And we do see that Khan Hunter coming in. Now, Khan Hunter with the Deerstone speed bonus and a mass archer composition, it's not great, not fun to play against. Oh, and Baltoon scouts out the tower, but it's gonna go up. The villager is gonna, yes, make it even with gilded archers next to it.
There's just too much of a mass here, right? Even with the gilded men-at-arms and the 2 archers, the spot on the tower was just a little bit too late, and this is actually very rough here for Baltoon, because when that Khan's Hunter does come here in play to provide the extra range, combined with the Falcon, we have seen this so many times in this tournament, but also in other recent events, where the Falcon, in combination with the extra range from the Aura, proves to be so oppressive on the wood lines, doesn't it? I mean, how exactly are you going to gather any lumber, right?
Yeah, we see Demo moving around. I don't think he is quite aware that there is a tower on Baltoon's back gold, but maybe he's also just gonna expect it. Gonna just stay here and wait for his chance to shoot over that woodline as soon as the Falcon is ready. And Baltoon must be aware of that, so he's gonna be sitting here and waiting. And
Deerstorm is being brought up to the front line from Demo. A ram for Baltoon. Baltoon massing those archers are very hard to deal with in Feudal Age, guys. Those archers in Feudal Age ain't no play. They ain't no play. They seriously business. They mean business.
Too early, even with
business.
Now you need to get some units
Yeah, we're still gonna have today Beastie versus
does like to be very aggressive in this early game.
them or Baltoon.
Skimping on units here is a surefire way to
it will be
to get yourself
Beastie.
killed. But now we have an engagement coming in. The Men-at-Arm does a good job of
Yeah, Beastie versus them or Baltoon, and then Louis versus Kiliardi or Cap. Which is crazy, it's gonna be so late today.
It will be quite difficult to take this fight.
And for them, it's gonna be a bit worse.
Gilded Archers are very strong,
like for me, it's right now 8 p.m. They are 1 hour ahead of my time,
the tower will go down,
so it's even later for them.
It is a heavy price for Baltoon to pay here. 3 archers down, a 4th one looks to go down as well, so it shall.
Ooh, those archers. Oh, okay, them was able to take care of those archers. I was expecting Baltoon is going Pro Scouts as well. I think, yeah, Pro Scouts is great, but you really have to be adaptable.
Barely manages to
Like,
save the Man-at-Arm.
of course, it's better to get deer in your base than going out to get it, but I mean, he's making archers and a couple of Men-at-Arms, so he doesn't need that much gold, and it's way better to get deer in the base than going out for it, like I said. But right now, maybe it's better to just go for the deer. I think there is the tower in the gold, so then we'll see that the movement of Baltoon.
Even with wheelbarrow, and there's no guarantee that that tower goes up, right? I mean, defender's advantage is a very real phenomenon in Age of Empires 4.
It is, bro. It is. The defender's advantage is a real, very real phenomenon in AV4. Sometimes too real. And that's why I want units to move slightly faster, because that will benefit the attacker a bit more.
Go down, just barely makes it out alive. And on the other side, we do see another ramp going for that other tower. And this time, Demu's army mass is even bigger. So I'm a little worried for the tuner here, but pulls his Men-at-Arms in and now pops them back out to defend at the front.
Golden Cuirass is now in for Baltoon. That's going to prove very, very significant for his front line of Men-at-Arms in this fight. Now, Keshiks, as acting as a pseudo-knight, are generally, of course, a counter to Men-at-Arms in all forms. So it's not exactly a fight you want to take too often if you are Baltoon, even with the Golden Cuirass, because although they are very, very tanky, they don't do much damage. So the Keshiks will be healing off of their large health pools for days if the fights are to continue for a longer while. Demu now opting for the deer, because, of course, he didn't go for Pro Scouts this time around. Another little raid attempt here on the gold. Any idle time is very, very useful for Demu here. If you can delay that Castle Age, if you can delay that Pro Scouts, which I'm not sure whether Baltoon allowed it to finish or not. We did see it in queue. Yeah. Oh, there we go. We do have the very nice split screen, yeah.
He's grabbing them from the bottom side, but Demu's army is right there.
Yeah, Demu's cancelling those Pro Scouts. Really good from him.
No deer for Baltoon. His food will be running very low. He still has the corner berries, but I don't think his sheep will hold up much longer.
His sheep definitely won't hold up much longer, and, you know, investing into these scouts is very, very expensive. And with such mobility that the Mongols have on maps in general, right, but especially on an open map like this, with, of course, the Yamora from the Deer Stones, as well as the Khan, and Keshiks naturally being a cavalry unit, a faster one at that, it's gonna be so difficult to get any deer.
Oh my, Baltoon read him right there. Demu trying to put up a tower on the deer camp, but Baltoon moving the ram over and the tower gets cancelled.
Very, very sneaky play there by Demo. Almost gets away with it, but Baltoon is perceptive and does spot it. But the issue is now the army mass is looking very, very scary here from Demo, and Baltoon is quickly running out of food. There is no real hope for him to move across the map here or push back this mass. The reality is that OTD feudal is not really something that they are known for, right? Their feudal age strength is just not there compared to other civilizations, which in my opinion includes the Mongols. So the longer this goes like this, I think just realistically speaking, the worse it's going to get for Baltoon. He wants to try to get out of feudal age ASAP, but how is he going to do so?
Yeah, they become very strong if you have all of the food in the world that Pro Scout usually provides you, but Demo's doing a great job denying all the deer. And here we have the other option. Instead of putting up outposts all around the base, you can just move your deer stones in front, and then you have the speed aura anyway.
Oh, it's doing so much.
Looking for the fight.
Damn.
Demu has a lot of army.
Yeah, Demu seems to be on the driving seat over here.
Third one arriving, and they're just being focused out immediately.
And he's also macroing towards Castle Age. Good job from Demu.
Gilded archers, while they do a lot of damage, there's 29 archers for the Mongols.
Not only 29 archers,
GG.
but additional range.
Well done,
It's just too
2-0,
much for
2-0.
Baltoon as Demu takes game number 2 in a pretty decisive fashion here with the Mongols against Baltoon's OTD. Now that was a quick game, I swear.
That was clinical.
Clinical indeed. Baltoon
We saw in the
struggling.
interview, Ben likes to throw people under buses, and he does like to play against Baltoon.
Yeah.
Well, he certainly showed here why today. I mean, the first game was also very, very cleanly executed. Certainly the mine work I didn't personally expect, but he definitely utilized it to its full extent, making spears, horsemen, and, of course, knights, which are the units that most benefit from it. And here, I mean, never unrelenting pressure here from Demu in this game, right? Not giving Baltoon any room to breathe, just knowing how scary OTD can be if they do get access to that day, if they do manage to get up safely with the Burgrave Palace and start getting an insane amount of value from the discount that it
Let's go.
provides. Demu says...
Game number 3, perhaps a water map for Baltoon.
Doesn't take the foot off the pedal.
He's choosing maybe to shake things up a little bit.
Really costly fights for
No, we
Baltoon
go
all
killed.
around, and Demu's just realizing his advantage and completely denying the food. Now, if you
Mongols
don't go for
strong.
pro scouts in that situation, I mean, you kind of have to, right? You cannot break out, even if pro scouts would be another 300 resources that you have in the bank. That if you save them, even if you go for farms instead, it's just not enough. You have to fight for outside resources.
It's not enough. And
It was tough for
difficult, right?
the Dragon there.
Without pro scouts, sure, you will have slightly more units as OTD, but your army is frankly simply weaker than the Mongol army, right? You have the extra range on the archers from the Khan's Hunter. You have this pseudo knight that heals and easily deals with your premium unit in Fudo, which is the men-at-arms, even with Golden Cuirass.
Yeah, all that you basically have on your units is the extra health, and Kashik love extra health. They love hitting you more.
That they do. We see the graphs. Good APM there for Baltoon, but unfortunately, you know, there's only so much you can do within a game. Total resources gathered definitely favoring Demu there, and you can see that. I mean, Pro Scouts, although it might be the dominant function in the current meta, sometimes it's a good idea to skip it, as in this game he proved so.
If we're being honest, Demu could probably have gone for Pro Scouts and done almost as well, but let's not mention that fact.
A possibility indeed. I mean, it's a difficult one to call, right? Because if he does opt for that Pro Scouts, it will lead to a smaller army mass initially, which might give Baltoon potentially some space to get his own day. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20, they say. So, who knows? It's a different game for another time, that one.
Guys, you can see what's on Myriad's mind, inside his mind, right there. We're up to 6,500.
And I predicted correctly.
All of you.
Baltoon choosing the water map. Demu's going GD.
No, we're not. We have.
Demu's going GD on the only map, on the only water map. It was, I mean, he knows if he can win this one, he gets the win.
Yeah, all of that going straight to the players. So if you enjoy this event, if you want to make it even bigger, hey, feel free to support us like you're already doing.
And if you so do, we can't thank you enough over here, of course. As Askar said, all the money is going to the players, and it helps us to be
all the money going to the players. That's a chat move. Let's go. I like that.
Why is it not going to us, by the way? Like,
why is it not going to us?
Well,
should we be having that?
Well, maybe just a little cut if we do an extra good job today.
Maybe. Oh, maybe. There's a game on, by the way. We're going to 4 lakes, and this is a matchup that I particularly like because I do like both of the French variants on 4 lakes in particular, and against the Japanese. Okay, I'll just straight up ask, who do you think is stronger here, just civ-wise? Disregard the players, just tell me, which civ do you favor?
The more I see this matchup here on 4 legs, the more I like it for the French variants, frankly, especially French. Now, JD, we haven't seen
the dock,
I feel like the
dock buff for the Dark and French was really good for the water maps. And the cheaper Springle chip as well.
Play the French or JD player in order to trade favorably or get much damage done. And, you know, this has been quite common since, most notably, the dock change that the French variants have received in the form of it acting as a house on top of a dock as well. So this allows them to get a very nice, handy little eco bonus early on, as they can outright skip their first house in favor of getting extra fishing ships earlier.
It's those little things where you just don't realize how much they're going to do, coming from basically
welcome to everybody. Welcome.
Any hybrid to just being really, really good.
Yeah, true.
Indeed. And Bolton
JD is
does
now
like
really good
doing
on the
this
water
very
maps.
often on 4-legs, as we see here, as
Extra food,
our observer is very
plus
well pointing out.
cheaper
We have
units,
seen a farmhouse
which
on
are
top
one of the
layer
best.
with
No, they are the
3
best units in
villagers
Feudal.
gathering.
It's just a great combo.
This is quite common for Bolton. It's just a very
And what the
efficient way to
developers
get the food in
choose to do to
quickly.
Japan,
Also, extend
nerf them
the
again.
lifespan of your sheep somewhat, which, sure, on this map is not as significant as on others, but any kind of efficiency that you can get without any risk, well, you're going to take it, won't you?
Yeah, and you can also not do that as the French, because you'd have to invest into an extra mill, while Japan has their gathering of the food from the houses, so that's a nice little bonus there. How much do you think the Japanese nerf on the fishing boat cost hit them, actually?
Oh, hit so much.
It definitely hurt a little bit, right?
A little bit, it hurts so much.
You know, 6 wood, significant amount at the end of the day as the fishing ship.
Because
numbers do
Japanese
start
advantage was all about the tempo.
If you just have, like,
And
one
more than the
less and you go
cost
to feudal
or the
age,
price,
it doesn't amount to more.
that extra
It just
wood
depends,
costs
how
tempo
much
to
you
Japan,
invest,
because
right?
then
There's different
fishing got
kinds of
slowed
builds
as
you
well
can
a
do.
couple of
Japanese here,
times.
some people
So,
go for double dock in Feudal, going up to like 8, even 10 on wood potentially, whereas some just use this starting 5 villages that was beside build the dock in order to get a fast rage up. But yeah, we do see a double
Dock
here
for Bar
Japan,
2.
which I think makes a lot of sense in this matchup. Realistically, you can't do too much to contest here in Feudal, right? I mean, the Knights are so strong, and the French / JD player, in this case JD of course, is going to have access to a lot of food thanks to the fishing, and that's going to mean a lot of Knights naturally. And sure, I mean, you also have food, and you also have a pretty strong feudal age now as Japan, I think, but Knights, I mean, that's a whole different ballpark, right? So if you set yourself up very well in the Dark Age with additional fishing ships and docks here, then that means that your economy will be stronger, and you can then get a better, stronger castlage timing than beforehand. To now see 5 on gold from Bolton.
And also, if you go to the secondary pond, you will not have all of your eggs in one basket. So if Demo decides to counterdock here, you'll still be able to maybe get to that castle age.
Them already aging up.
Contested on the water. And
Baltoon's still a bit far away.
French run away with the Knights and the game.
And counterdocking is an interesting point you bring up here, Askilat, because typically Japanese is something that they definitely like to do on this map, right? Having access to the Shinobi is huge.
Yeah, Shinobi is giga
and also
on water.
Opposing dogs going up from your side. However, that dynamic becomes slightly more difficult when there are Royal French Knights on the field. Sure, I mean, Shinobi do very well against melee units, but they're not going to kill a Knight single-handedly, right? And the Knights are going to...
Yeah, the Shinobi do a lot of damage to the Knights, though.
Easy for JD to also
The Knight wins the fight, but they get like half HP. It depends on the macro, though, and who attacks first.
Well, quite easily take care of the Shinobi and prevent any kind of dock shenanigans on their side. So, you know, counter-docking as Japan here, very difficult, but also very difficult for John to do in turn because of those Shinobi. So I'd be quite surprised if either of them do opt for that kind of play.
Making a good point there, but we do see an interesting tower come out of Balchun there on the front of his wood line. Not actually right on the gold, but where Demu was just trying to spread his deer around. Gonna be keeping that angle open. He's gonna be easier to harvest those deer, and I'm expecting to actually see a second tower right on the gold as well.
It's a very defensive tower. They're just completely blocking off the left-hand entrance towards that wood line. Very safe tower there. I'm a little bit surprised to see it so early. It would have made more sense to me personally to put it on the gold, but then wood is very important. And considering the double barracks now,
Double barracks, that's cool.
Looks like Baltoon is
So the Shinobi will be protected by some spearmen, so the Knights will not be as much as a problem. Baltoon losing one villager.
Unfortunate, right? It's so easy to forget about the villager.
Yeah, it is so easy to forget, indeed.
That is the case here for Baltoon, right? So -1, just like that.
Yeah, Demo running back up. He sees the tower. We got a charge on the woodline.
Oh, the villagers got stuck on the woodline. What the hell was that?
And even with the attempted body block there, it's not enough. And the Knight is still here. First spears are moving out now, so Demo has to leave. But that is 2 villagers down for Balchun. He's not gonna be happy about that.
No.
Such a horrible feeling for Balchun.
Second dog for Demo as well.
His face there. His mouth was agape for a moment. They're unable to believe just the way those villagers were breakdancing. Not something that should be possible in the medieval era, naturally. I mean, it doesn't exist yet, of course.
Villagers were breakdancing, something that it's not possible in the medieval era.
It always feels like once things start going wrong, they only get worse and worse from then on usually, right? Murphy's Law kind of situation. So I do feel for Boltun here, right? Question is, can he stabilize from this position?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Demo behind this, we did see that he put up a dock on the second pond as well. We see him getting his wheelbarrow in now, eco upgrades coming. But we're not quite sure how the upgrade situation for the Japanese is. I don't think he'll be having too many, and Demo's so annoying with the charges. And with Malijon moving in right now, it's hard for Boltun to keep the idle time out, pretty much. He has to pull back every single time.
It's so tough with forward wood lines like this against aggressive civilizations, right? You can see what Demo is doing. Just dancing left to right, forcing him off of the gold, forcing him to shift to the other side of the wood line, just causing however much idle time he can here to delay the castle, delay the units, delay the economy in general here for Boltun. Now, I believe Demo did in fact set up a second dock himself on the secondary pond, so his economy is also going to start scaling up further now, right? Because initially there was no dock there in order to favor that earlier aggression, but now there is, and despite this aggression, Demo is not going to be behind economically.
Yeah, there's the avatar that we've expected to see much earlier, but Demo scouts it out, is gonna come back, and I don't think he can force a fight here because there's 15 spears. Like he doesn't want this, but he's just gonna be a pest anyway. Maybe he can get some cleaves on the mass. Yes, he gets a beautiful connection on almost 8-9 spears there. That's a lot of damage, and as long as JD stays up, he's just gonna heal back up.
A big spin there on JD, right? A lot of damage done to those spears, but Demo does trade a whole Royal Knight for it. So whether that's worth it or not is something we're gonna have to see later on in the game. But Demo for now just sticking to pure Knight and nothing else, right? I think what Demo was banking on here is that Boltun is going to greed for some sort of early castle timing, even with the spears, maybe stopping at like 5 to 10 potentially. And then if Demo just keeps on making Knights, it doesn't matter if they are spears. At the end of the day, the massive Knights will be just so severe that at one point he can just dive and severely punish Boltun for that greed. But Boltun, still with 4 spears in production, getting close to the count of 20 now. Doesn't seem like greed is something that he's considering at this point in time.
I was gonna say, do you actually go for the galley defense here as you try to defend that dock, or because the knights will not really care about that, and if numbers mount up, they'll be pretty fast to burn, do you move out every single time?
As the Japanese?
Oh yeah.
It's difficult, right? Because you see these knights torching the dock here, but are those all the knights or not, right? If you move the spears here without leaving any in your base, that leaves you open. If you move some of the spears only, then there's a chance that other knights or archers collapse onto the spears that did move out. That's one of the things that makes makes it quite scary.
The wolf getting the villager.
Knights, funnily enough, is that mobility disadvantage.
Not like this, Boltun, not like this.
No way. I mean, that must be so painful, right? Even the guy
That's tough.
against Boltun in this game, it's so painful position to be in. I mean, 3 villages down now. He still has an economic lead, courtesy of those cheaper fishing ships, right? That definitely is very nice for him. And with 10 on gold now, and his food starting to rack up, castle may be on the cards for him. As I say that, horsemen are now in queue for him as well, so perhaps not. Archers on the field now for Demo as well. Chivalry on the way as well to start healing up his injured knights, which now up to 11. Certainly a very scary number.
I think Demo might actually be going for a castle play at this point as his food starts to mount up. And I'm not quite sure. It's a great choice as we see Boltun adding in some Onabugeisha. But here's another charge on the wood line. It is open on the left side. Okay, just barely pulls back in time. But yeah, if Demo can keep Boltun in his base and occupied, then this is going to be a great play for him. But Boltun's numbers getting scary.
Numbers are getting scary, but the issue with Boltun's army is this is not an army that can move out, right? It is a purely defensive
army is slow, kind of slow for Boltun.
Close to 30 spears now.
He's pushing though.
To build now, which will be
He's walking forward
against the archers. But this is the issue with facing John Dark in this situation, and why Demo's playing it so well. Sure, I mean, there's a chance you can win a fight, but if you take losses in that fight, so much experience is going to go over to Jean, right? Especially because you're playing full melee here. The issue with that is, as of course we have the ability of Jean to spin around and do a lot of AoE damage against melee units, that is, you know, ideal. And Doc now being torched down by the Knights. He does manage to snipe himself a ship there. Liquid Demo does, and well, the Knights will be backing off for now. Bolton does look to try a wrap around here. Now, there's a lot of space here, and the horseman numbers have built up as well, yeah.
I don't think they'll be making an out back here, but that's a lot of experience because Boltun has to take the fight with the spear straight up into the cleave, into the archers. And if Jenny stays up for this entire fight, and it looks like she might just do that.
Pull the board, pull the board.
Never mind, we're gonna sacrifice the archers. So great engagement for Boltun. Needs to pay attention that he doesn't have his stragglers run into Jenny there. But yeah, really good read from him.
Yeah.
Demo
Nice switch into horseman from Bolton. And he's going castle very soon.
Because he needs these knights to stay up.
Yes, I mean, now with the archer numbers severely dwindled, Demo suddenly finds himself in a bit of a precarious position here, especially with JD overextended like this. I mean, these knights can get out at any point in time, but
nice using those knights to distract
will actually make it out alive
and go for more villagers.
Now, Bolton does have an option to cut across the center of his base here in order to prevent the knights from escaping on the other side, or at least some of them, and JD certainly for that matter, and that seems to be what he is going to opt for here. More units in queue here for Demo, but Bolton has now completely stopped, and look at the macro escalade. Only 60 gold until Castle Age for him.
Yeah, Boltun's playing this beautifully, but Demo...
2k food for Boltun, looking great. Welcome everybody, welcome, welcome.
He heard that Age-Up coming in and he has the scout not far away. He might have just seen the floating gate get put down.
There we go, Age-Up for Boltun. Also the Daimyo Manor upgrade means they will have a betterment to boost their units. Maybe they go for the Katana Bannerman instead of the Uma Bannerman.
You lose so much tempo and pressure, right? And Demo is now forced to go back somewhat. He's still gonna poke in with a nice...
Demo with 1,000 gold in the bank.
As much as he can.
Is he going Royal Institute?
Right? Sure, Demo has a very, very capable army after reinvesting, but he's very behind in terms of the tempo here, right? I mean, Bolton is almost Castle Age, and Demo hasn't even started to click up yet.
He literally just clicked up, getting that range.
Yeah, Royal Institute, there you go.
Also, it looks like Demo still wants to be the aggressor, or he's expecting the Onamusha. But we'll see what Boltun opts to go for. Production-wise, he's set up beautifully. I don't think he even has to put anything into, maybe into the barracks? No,
archers, there you go.
As well. And it's right there. Got the Yorishiro in the archery range, so Onamusha it will be.
Onamusha it will be indeed, and Royal Institute on the way for Demo here, which is, well, we know what Royal Institute means, right? It means bloodlines on the night, royal bloodlines for that matter.
He has 16 knights, it's a great choice.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of knights.
Once these knights do get that royal bloodlines path,
with the upgrade, it's going to be crazy.
I mean, with those kind of numbers, it becomes very difficult even for Spears and Onamusha to handle these, and with so many archers on the field as well, the Onamusha numbers will need to climb very, very high indeed for them to gain any real value. Now, the good thing with Onamusha is the additional range that they have over archers, but now Boltun is looking for some sort of angle here to put those horsemen to use, but doesn't find too much except some very angry royal knights.
Yeah, nice read by Demo there, because Boltun, if he can stop the gold, we know that Royal Bloodlines is a very expensive upgrade. Demo will want to upgrade all of his units as he already queued. We do get the balanced projectiles in as well, but still no Bloodlines because he needs quite a bit more for that. And Boltun, his resources are really stacking up. Does he not have enough production set up already, or does he have other plans cooking?
It's a good question, right? It might be a situation of underestimating his food income here and overcompensating on land. Most likely we see 1.2k food income already for Boltun. That's certainly quite a bit, and keeping up in terms of production is quite difficult. But we see quite a mixed composition here, right? Spears, Onamusha, and Horseman. Now, Onamusha Horseman is quite a good composition to go for, and adding Spears makes it even more solid for that matter. Now, Demu is sticking to the tried and tested Archer Knight here, now starting to queue up some horsemen as well, with the first Arbaletria soon to make.
Yeah, he's queuing horsemen to save gold, to then get Rail Blood. He could get Rail Blood Knights now.
Looking rather interesting. I mean, both armies are quite scared to engage in
He could get Royal Bloodlines right away.
It kind of looks like
he's getting it now. Let's go.
Way here, and you don't really want to take any 50-50 fights.
And also the horseman will be good to counter the Onamusha.
And one, otherwise, you know, what are you fighting for really, except chance at the end of the day. Now, one relic is now on the way home for Boltun. One on the way home for Demo as well. Sacred Site is locked in for Demo at this point in time. And what I'm really curious about at this point in time is how close Jean is to a level up, because that could prove very, very
That
significant.
should be... Ooh, those knights.
There weren't really any major engagement, but the timing should be just about right. We are already 17 minutes in. She should be very, very close to that age up. We do see there's the experience counter on the right side. It should be on the left, guys. It should be on the left, but it's fine. We can see it. That is what counts. So yeah, in the next big engagement, she'll definitely hit level 3.
Royal Bloodlines on the way now for Demu, which is very significant here. Right? You definitely want to avoid any kind of pitch fight as Demu with all those knights and horsemen until you have that Bloodlines in queue. But I must say the mass here from Boltun is looking extremely scary, right? I mean,
99 army, and it is the Spear Horseman composition with Onamusha to deal that additional damage to those scary Bloodline Knights. This is just an I run at your face and hit you really hard composition, and I love it.
completely correct, right? I mean, the burden of micro with this kind of a composition matchup is so much heavier on Demu as opposed to Boltun. Boltun can essentially just afford to A-click and just has to peel some horsemen to the back line, focus the knights with Onamusha. But speaking of engagements, here it comes as a direct charge head-on by Demu's cavalry in towards the space and the horsemen from Boltun.
Ooh, crazy fight!
For Boltun, despite for Demu, excuse me, despite the bloodlines coming in, Jean does level up. Archers are now
great healing
targeted by the spears and the horsemen. The front line for Demu is starting to fail. The knights
and
the horsemen
front line for Demu. For Demu, I mean, going down here, the archer's not doing enough damage quickly enough.
But there's so many units here falling for Boltun as well, and Jean is still alive. So much experience already. You can see she just leveled up, but she's already
Jean almost sniped
the way to level 4 as well. It looks like a bit of a stalemate, but I have to say, I think that fight favored Demu just slightly there.
Oh yeah, he's already almost halfway up to the next level, and we've got 27 Onamusha left now. Demu, what's gonna be the weapon of choice? We see Jean's riders now being queued up. That's a beautiful choice. We do see the champion's equipment as well. And yeah, that's gonna be a great counter. Your Shiro bonus, as was pointed out, is now in the stable. No, none in the TC. What do you think of that? Is that like just because you have the fishing, you just don't need it?
A bit of a curious choice. I think Boltun wanted to opt to get those upgrades very, very quickly and to make sure that his production can keep up with his economy. I think there's a lot of value to be gained from putting it inside the TC, especially on maps like this where you're very unlikely to go for a secondary TC, as to why he opted to put it in his production, especially after the latest nerf to the production speed of the Yorishiro within production buildings is something we're going to have to ask him about after the game, if he wins, or just myself in private, of course.
Gonna be curious to hear that as well. Demu now going for some big upgrades. We do see that, I kind of forget what it's called, so if our lovely observer hovers over it real quick, the further improvement to the Jenny buff to your production, which will also include the wood
villager count or economical count, very similar. But Boltun has way more food per minute, but less, half the gold per minute than Demu. 3 relics for Boltun, but Boltun is spamming, you know, he's using a lot of gold as well. Of course, Demu is using more because of the knights. I don't know if he got, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did got the upgrade to discount the units further. He does indeed have Royal Institute.
Way higher, but now Demu is doing a good job in getting the crossbow stirrups, and crossbow stirrups is just such a powerful upgrade. It's essentially bloodlines for Arbalete in the form of damage as opposed to health. That extra attack speed is just incredibly impressive, right?
You were talking about the arbs earlier already, yes, and they do put up those paris, then the Onamusha don't do anything to them. Then they put up their, what's it called again? Oh my god, my mind's blanking out as we see those horsemen trying to retreat. No, those are Jean's riders. These are not horsemen. They are special. They have extra damage against range, even more. They're a little bit beefier. They're also a little bit more expensive, but, you know, Demu's now only paying 75% of the cost.
And this question of who exactly has better horsemen is an interesting one, I would say here. Of course, you have the royal bloodlines on Demu's horsemen here in the castle age, but Boltun's horsemen are no slouches either, with an additional 2 damage from the Japanese extra melee damage tech as well as the bannerman. So as to who's stronger is something that has yet to be tested, at least by me. But Crossbow stirrups, only a few seconds away now, and Demu does know that that is his timing to make a grand old push here. That is the value of Royal Institute at the end of the day. You don't want to waste any time in going for an all-in.
Demu made a great recovery, but Baltoon just has way more units, bro. Look at that. That's kind of crazy. He's being way stronger.
Gets the heal out, gets to retreat, and the Onamusha, there's a massive amount of them. They do decent damage in general, but for a straight-up fight, they're usually just not made. There is no armored units for them to counter. We do see a nice flank by Bolchun, so the numbers definitely working out for him right now.
Yeah.
Still a little bit of his front line going, but
Baltoon still with a huge range mass in the back.
Are also still up. Jean going for another pass and getting pushed back. Who do you think won here?
Difficult to say, but I think
look at Jean's
another
experience.
good fight for Demu here. I mean, it's just
Jean almost level 4.
Once that level 4 is in, the cannon is going to be coming out, the extra attack speed is going to be coming out, and it'll be so tough. And really, it's this Arbaletria and the Royal Bloodlines. The combination of those two upgrades is just so oppressive in the castle age, and Demu not missing a beat here, right? Being aggressive constantly here, taking full advantage of those technologies, trying to constrain Baltoon into his base, not giving him any space to move out, despite the extra mobility of Baltoon's composition in comparison.
Yeah, Bolchun also haven't been able to find any raids towards Demu's side. He's just completely focused on the defense. Tries to snipe Jenny again, does not find her, and the level 4 is about to come in. And then we have 26 Arbalest. There's the attack speed. With the front line, with the Royal Bloodline Knights
the TC is fighting the rocket into the fight though. Baltoon pushing or pulling them into the range of the TC. It's a great play.
This is your own base.
This is what I mean, right? What exactly do
Demu's now
you do
ahead
with this
on Eco.
composition as Baltoon? In my mind,
He
all
caught
the
up with the
correct
food.
units
He's making siege
here.
engineering. He went some rams.
Spearman, everything to counter what Demu's doing, but those technologies, the crossbow stirrup, the Royal Bloodlines, and of course, just the natural strength of those Arbaletria, not only with additional melee armor, but also being virtually impervious to arrow fire once the Pavises are up as well. Such an oppressive unit in situations like this, and at one point, Demu could just park himself here in Baltoon's base, but probably not under the Shogunate Castle, because that is in fact a lot of damage.
Yeah, Demo does realize it, and we do immediately see 3 rams going up. Is gonna be turning a Bolchian space into a field of rubble. But yeah, that Shogunate Castle packing quite the punch. It is only 1 hit at a time, but it's a pretty spicy hit. You see Jenny just healing up casually. And what's Demu's move gonna be? He's floating a lot of resources behind this. He's very focused on that fight, and he's actually limited by the food. He has 2,000 food per minute, and still that is his lowest resource.
Makes sense, right? So much cavalry is very heavy on food, and so much gold and wood in the bank as well. A bit unlike Demu to have Miss Macro of this caliber here, but it makes sense, right? There's such a focus on just moving straight directly towards a game win here as the Rams are tearing apart Baltoon's
Japanese
base,
struggling
house
as JD.
house, bomb by
3k gold for
Shogunate
Demu.
Castle is going to provide good respite for Baltoon here.
Oh, but Baltoon is still here to say something about it.
Quite soon. Baltoon now charging again to make a final stand here in this game.
Faster attack speed from JD.
Speed's already up again.
Jenny casts the attack speed, and you can see Pavis.
Pavi, great play.
Horsemen and spears from Baltoon are dying incredibly quickly here. The Onamusha are doing everything they can, but at this point, there's no more.
Still holding. Baltoon says GG. It is GG. 3-0 for Demu. Good game. Well played, guys. And guys, I'm sorry. I'll finish the stream right now. I'm really tired. And we'll be back tomorrow to watch the finals and the 3rd match placement. So thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. And I see you next time.